All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. What is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be. Good Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a facade. We are live, and I am joined by none other than my co-host, Mike from Mike's Philippines Journey. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? What's going on? How's everything been?
And I cannot complain. Cannot complain. Guys, I was talking to Mike earlier, man. Took the wife to go see the new Black Panther movie. I encourage it. I think it was pretty dope. I think it was well worth the watch. It's about a 2 hour and 40-minute movie, so y'all definitely gonna have to make sure you
Mm-hmm.
give yourself some time to get there and enjoy it. But definitely worth the eyes, man. I mean, Marvel, they very rarely let us down, and this was one that definitely came through clutch. But yeah, that's what I've been up to today, man. And you guys may not see it yet, but eventually this is gonna be like my little. I'm setting up my studio space, so I'm gonna have shit on the wall here soon, and this is where I'm gonna be recording my videos and stuff. So I'm just trying to set up a little office space for that. But that's about it. That's the only thing that's new with me, man. How about yourself, man?
Nothing much, man. Made some videos today. Had a couple customers had to call in. Just did a video with my boy Dave just like literally an hour ago. And then just this, man. Just making some contents.
All right, now we didn't get a chance to talk about this,
Yeah.
but recently I understand that you had a guest on your show.
Yes, I did.
Recently. How was the experience, man? I mean, with it all being said and done, how was it for you?
It was good, I mean, like, there one thing that you have to have is that, when you have a guest, number one is you allow them to be able to have this, the moment to speak and stuff like that.
Right.
There's gonna be guys that was like, oh my god, I love this dude, and there's some guys who are like, bro, I don't like this guy at all, and sometimes
Correct.
it's because on how people the cadence of how people talks and stuff. And
Mhm.
and there's some guys that say, well, Michael, man, you just showed me that you had patience, and I'm like, it's not about patience, it's about respect and just saying, listen, this is a conversation. I
True.
cannot, just because he speaks differently the way I speak, that doesn't mean that, you know I'm gonna be uncongruent with them. And so that's where it's understanding that when you see people the way they speak, if it doesn't apply to you, you may be turned off, but sometimes it's you just allow them to speak. And there's some good information in there. Some guys, I get it, and stuff like that, but he was a good guest. And we're probably going to do it again. It was the only thing that was unfortunate was that StreamYard, either StreamYard or YouTube was giving me hell, but we powered through that and figured out a way. And so I just recorded it and then reposted it to, like, to make up for it and everything. But it was good, man. I mean, but he did have a message for you.
Okay. I this is the first time I'm hearing it,
So
guys. What was the actual message?
so just in case. I think actually I don't think it showed up because we were doing that conversation when we started having mess when we thought we were online. The thing though is,
Okay.
he was saying, because you made that video about the Scotty chocolate.
I
So when
love
he's
that name, bro. That was the best porn name I've ever heard, bro. I loved it. I mean, dude, it was a great name. I'm sorry.
I think it's very creative,
Mhm.
The thing is that he's not Scotty Chocolate. It was another person that emailed him whose name was Scotty. So he nicknamed the dude Scotty Chocolate, but spoke to it like on a first person basis in a way, in regards for how he had that. So he just wanted to make
Right.
sure he clarified that for everybody. Because just in case,
100%.
somebody hears it and they're like, oh, and goes after him, whatever like that. So he was clear. So,
Okay.
like I've known
Hey.
him as Scotty Boy. So he just wanted that to be said. And I don't
Got it.
remember if the video when I finally uploaded it had that portion of that. So just wanted to be able to kind of have that and see, like, look at this. Cold Fusion's in the house right now. CF here. What's up, girl? And she's talking like Scotty now.
All right. So, in fairness, guys, I did get comments. I read some of the comments where guys are like, "Yo, this wasn't actually the individual that was telling the story. It was a
Mhm.
first person point of view of the story." So, yeah, I did get that. But in reality, what I wanted a lot of people to focus on was just the message overall. It wasn't
Mhm.
so much that I was attacking this dude. If anybody felt that way, I pray that they didn't. But it was more or less,
Mhm.
I wanted y'all to focus on the context of the talking points that I was trying to make, not necessarily so much who it was. Now, again, I did use the individual's photo for the thumbnail. Again, this was the individual telling the story. That's where it came from. And when I direct you to the video and the link, that's the face of the guy that you guys were going to see. So that was kind of where I was like, all right, this is the guy that's going to tell the story. Again, no, nothing but love over here, man. And
There
Hey
you
man,
go.
I think like I said, all of it, like you said, man, doing the interview and stuff like that, I do feel like everybody has a message, everybody has a story, and
Yeah.
everybody can get it out, man. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. I'll tell you a live stream that I had a long time ago. Mike, I don't know if you were on to YouTube or you were
Hmm.
around during this time, but I had a live stream a long time ago, and this brother still shows up every now and again. Shout out to him. He was actually, I brung him on specifically to talk about his relationship, and he was in one of those relationships where he was with a transgender young lady.
Okay.
Right now, again, is that everybody's cup of tea? Absolutely not. But then again, you have to understand everybody has a unique perspective and standpoint. Even if it's not the way that you live your life, it's like, shit, man, let me hear what you got to say, because maybe you'll say something that will get the party, get the conversation going, and that's kind of where that came from. So again, man, we probably interviewed some very interesting people in the past, but they all got something to say.
I truly honestly enjoyed it because it was coming from a different perspective than mine, and he
Hmm.
was open to have a conversation. It wasn't like it was attacking each other. It was an honest, um in a way you can say a debate, because that's what I call it, a debate, is to do it on terms where everyone is not like yelling at each other. But he had his own reasons for his thing, I had my own reasons, and we put it out. And in the end, whatever any viewer who watches it, it's up to them what they want to do with the information that is given to them.
There you
You know.
go, man. And I think that's why, and like ourselves tonight, guys, we do plan on allowing you guys to come on and have conversations with us once we get through the topic. And again,
Hmm.
I'm not having the expectation that you guys are going to agree with everything that we say. But if you do, well, cool. But if you come on and you have a differing perspective, that's what we want to hear. We like to hear why you guys think the way that you do, because
Hmm.
maybe that will open our eyes to another way of thinking about certain things. So
Yep.
without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Ladies and gentlemen, today, me and my boy Mike, we are here to talk about the myths and false beliefs foreigners have about dating and meeting Filipinas. Now,
There you go.
I've, I've heard some outlandish shit, bro, about
Same
things
here.
that people have expectations for before they actually come to the Philippines and actually meet their Filipina. Now,
Hmm.
the first one that I want to start with is that Filipinas are either easy to bed and or easy in bed. Now, when I say this, I'm
Uh-huh.
coming from the perspective of Filipinas are easy to get, and any activity that is partaken in behind closed doors, that is not my business, that is between you and yours. But maybe they got a little freak in them, maybe they don't. Sometimes they got Filipinas that haven't done anything or maybe need to be taught. I mean, there's so many different ways we can approach it. But
Of
let's start
course.
with question number one. Filipinas are easy to bed. All right, I want to hear what you guys got to say about that one. Go ahead, man.
Well, the thing though is, I in that type of a concept, the main thing to say is this: is that what type of Filipina is she? I mean, of course, if it's a pay to play girl, that's going to be easy to bed. All right. But if you're talking about just an individualized person, you just have to understand that female nature is the same thing all throughout. Like, does she see you as a person that you know she's attracted to? Can you sexually
Mm,
escalate things with her to do it? Women will spread open for someone that they think is worth their while. That's
mhm,
just my honest belief. So in the end, it's not about the woman. If it's not pay to play, is it about the man? What can the man display for the woman to actually experience that? And there's this like quote that I've heard several times, and I think it in a way kind of applies.
okay.
Like, a woman will change the rules for an alpha, but make the rules for a beta. So
True.
pretty much, if she sees you as somebody that can be a provider, that can be a protector, that can provide security, all that kind of stuff, more than likely she will change her own rules about sleeping with a guy in the first date. Now, if she sees you as a guy that maybe is in the friend zone, or maybe I'm not too sure, or maybe I don't know, then you're in a way in a beta. She's going to make her own rules, and that's where you hear some women saying, I'll sleep with them maybe in the third date. I'll sleep with them after we've spent more than 8 hours together.
Mm,
And that's when that kind of comes up. But then I'm going to take it to the next part for a lot of things, is that if you, for a Filipina, you have to be in the more of a funny romantic side. And if you can provide that feeling around her, that you're romantic, that you're funny, especially, then it's going to be easier. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just
Mhm.
saying it's going to be easier.
Oh man, there's a lot to unpack in this one, but I got you, Mike. I'm with you
Okay.
100%. They refer to them as the killing moments. A lot of people, a
Yes,
lot of
man.
foreigners aren't gonna know what
Kilig
killing.
to the
Yeah,
bone. When you hear a girl say, "Oh my God, he makes me kilig to the bone," meaning that it's that shiver all the way through the inside of the bones, right? So
yeah, man.
yes, yes, I haven't heard
The
that word in a while, man,
I
because I
just
haven't made that girl do that in a while.
Yeah, this killing those kid that's a Philippine term, guys, but it's that feeling that women get when they're overwhelmed with excitement about how a guy makes them feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know what? I like to say this, and some people may agree or disagree with this one, but I think a lot of guys will agree. It's okay to be corny in the
Mm.
Philippines. It's super okay to be a corny dude in the Philippines. These corny ass jokes and shit. Filipinos like to laugh. If you're like super serious all the time, I'm gonna tell you it's not gonna really serve you as much as you think it would. I mean, I kind of feel like in the West or dealing with Western women, you feel like you got to be serious all the time. You know, the gameplay, tit for tat type of shit. But when it comes to dealing with certain women in the Philippines, like I do believe that, like you said, to an extent, when it comes to whether they're easy to bed or something to that perspective, it
Mm-hmm.
really does come down to how you make them feel. And the fact that women are willing to change the rules, Filipinos too, it don't matter who you say, they're
Yeah.
willing to change the rules for the guys that they like and make the rules for the guys that they don't, or the guys that they want to make work for it. It's 100% true. That's why you have a lot of guys that are like super pissed off, like, yo, when you're in your younger years, more so talking about women in the West, in your younger years, in your 20s and 30s, you was just letting anybody hit, but now you're 30 and you want to fucking try to settle down and you actually want to gotta work for it, but everybody else got the goods for free. It's kind of like, what? Like, man, how
Yep.
was that supposed to make me feel? So yeah, man. If you really want to know the truth, it to an extent. Okay, Mike, let me do this. To an
Yeah.
extent, would you consider that a myth, a false belief, or something to be somewhat true? At the end of every topic we talk about, that's how we're going to answer it. Do you believe it to be a myth, false belief, or somewhat truthful?
I think that it's a false belief of men because
Okay.
they mix this whole thing about the pay to play stuff and
Mm-hmm.
the foreigner fantasy type of a woman, because there are,
Mm-hmm.
just like there are firemen chasers and police chasers and military chaser women's, there's also foreigner chasers. Okay, so but let's be honest, the quality of women who are foreigner chasers who will chase you the moment they see you is a whole different type of a low quality type of a woman. So I'll say it's a false belief. I mean, but I don't know if is this we're going to discuss this, but I mean, let's add this because I think that this is actually pertaining to this part.
Okay.
Is that, do you have to be good looking to get with a Filipina?
Oh man, damn. See, Mike, that's fucked up. That's
Yeah.
not right because we've seen some pretty interesting individuals pull some badass Filipinas. I'm just gonna tell
Hmm.
you the truth. I've seen some guys pull some women where even I'm like, damn, I'm impressed with that. But then again,
Hmm.
like I said, it's judging a book by its cover. I think to an extent, man, you kind of never know what a Filipina likes until you get around the right one. I've heard a lot of Filipinas say that they like dating chubbier guys. Like for some reason, a guy that's a little on the chubby side. Now I'm not saying
Hmm.
super fat. They're eating, they're healthy, and you'll have some Filipinas that will choose guys like that because they know these
Yeah.
guys are eating. And it's one of those hidden things. Like you don't hear nobody talking about this shit. How Filipinas date like bigger, chubbier type guys because they know these guys are well fed. They know these
This
guys
dude.
eat, and they and yo, and they know that if they're probably in a relationship with this guy, chances are they're going to
Hmm.
be eating good too. And that's just like a deep layered type of psychological thing that I think about when I hear about stuff like that. But from your perspective, how do you feel? Filipinas attract? Do you have to be attractive to get Filipinas?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, to be honest, if you can check the mark of that, you're willing to be romantic and you
Mm-hmm.
are fucking hilarious. A lot of these girls will date you. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
For that, if you can tick like the corny type of laughter.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
thing, guys. Not the dry humor, because they'll get offended
No.
with our dry humor. But if you can
Yes,
do the corny, funny stuff, and
you're right.
then at the same time as play the you have to play that kind of like a sad boy routine, whatever, that I've seen a lot. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it freaking works.
It
Like it
does.
and but here's the thing, right? I still laugh until now because you still hear it in a lot of TikToks that they use this song sample, right? There's this rapper in the Philippines. He was the second rapper of the Philippines ever.
Magalona.
No, that's the first one. That's Francis Magalona was the first one. Rest in peace to him.
Shout out to that, man.
Andrew
shit.
E.
Oh, Andrew E came second?
Yeah, Andrew E came second.
Okay, go ahead. What about him?
So Andrew E came second. So he had this song since the 90s called Humanap Ka ng Pangit, meaning that look for an ugly man because he will love you forever. Iibigin kang tunay. So like until now, a lot of girls still abide by those rules. And at the very same time, is if they know you by heart and they get to know you and they get you from that, then there's going to be less girls that they're going to be competing against because the Filipinas know that the competition is real with Filipino men.
Yeah, it truly is. Yeah, that competition is pretty stiff. But then that begs the question, and I think we might get into it a little bit later on.
Okay.
We might about Filipinos choosing foreigners. Is it by choice, right? Or is it the fact that they can't get what they really want? I mean, bro,
damn. That's a deep one right there. Hey, we can get there. We'll get there, man.
We'll definitely tap in on that one. All right, guys. We got 16 in the building, man. Appreciate you guys locking in. If you haven't already dropped your like, please make sure y'all drop that like, man. Make sure y'all caress, molest, and stretch yourself. Love that like button. Once it needs, it most definitely has to have it. Again, if you guys want to support in any capacity, please feel free to do so. But we are definitely happy that y'all chose to come through and spend a little bit of time with us on this beautiful, beautiful evening. Cold Fusion said dad bods are 100%. I don't know what it is, man. I think that really does attract a lot of Filipinas. And if you know that if you've ever seen any Philippine movie, it's usually the goofy, corny comedian type of guy that really does seem to get the girl in the end. It's not always about the muscular stature. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would want you to be the best version of yourself, but to an extent, it doesn't always have to be, you have to be super cut or like, ripped or anything like that. Cause some girls don't really find that to be as attractive as a lot of guys. I mean, as a lot of guys think they are, man. You got your Andrew Tates out here telling you stay in the gym and, do all this extra shit. But, to an extent, I don't want you to be unhealthy, right? I'm not encouraging that, but, there are some people that have different ways of thinking about, health and, your body stature and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So I think that is probably one of the main reasons why a lot of guys choose to, travel to that side of the world. I'm gonna let you talk before we go on to the next topic, bro. Anything you gotta say?
I think we can go to the next topic, but I think I agree with you at all.
Shout out to Kiki. He says the posh ones will make you earn it. 6'3", being 6'3" in height, I assume helps, but you better be able to hold a conversation. That is factual. Mm-hmm. The conversation is key. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sincerely, how you doing, love? Good to see you in the building. Topic number 2. Let's go ahead and slide into it. All Filipinas want is your pera, your money, your moolah.
Your dinero.
Your dinero. Mike, I'm gonna go ahead and let you, tell me your thoughts on that one.
The ones who needs the money is gonna want your money. I mean, let's just be honest for that one. I mean, but so a lot of people because myths of Filipinos is that Filipinos are poor. Let's be honest, only 27% of Filipinos are in the poverty line. So the rest are making ends meet. The rest are able to have a good life. The rest are living their life. So, I mean, in that case, more than likely. But let's back it up, understanding that any woman who gets with a man wants the man to be able to provide. Mm-hmm. That's just the truth. That's part of money, guys. And if you don't like it, don't play the game. Go get a lotion and your toilet paper in the bathroom and you can do that. But the thing though is like you have to have some form of money. Now the difference that you have to ask is how much money do you need? And it depends on type of woman, what type of lifestyle does she want? And you need to find out what lifestyle she wants. Mm-hmm. But the Philippines is a matriarchal society. It's always been a matriarchal society. Mm-hmm. And if you really look at the matriarchal society, women are known to be making money. Women have been making more money than men in the Philippines for a long, long time. And it's even proven with the fact that a lot of these women are willing to get with a man, have children by them, leave the kids with the man, and travel to another country to work really, really hard, and sometimes only come home once a year or every other year to see them. And they're making more bread, making more money, willing to give it to the man to take care of the kids. So my answer to that is, I think that is a myth. Not all Filipinos truly want your money. They're willing to get by. So Then there's the mix. Like, why are they going for the foreigners? Well, the
Okay.
question is the type of Filipina that are looking for foreigners.
Okay. All right, Mike. I think I'm gonna be the devil's advocate, bro.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
There
That's
we
why
go.
this is good. That's
Let's
why
try.
this is good, man.
Let's try it this way. I'm gonna try to get my words right. Y'all work with me. All right. So, Mike, you've explained it all the way through and through, man. Filipina has been pretty much main providers for quite a long time in society. Like you said, they go overseas. They willing to be OFWs,
Mhm.
overseas Filipino workers, send money home for the Filipino guy to take care of the child. Do you think that because of all of the stuff that they have to do to take care of and provide for, it's kind of like the flip side where, damn, I want to get with me a foreigner so that he can provide for me so I don't have to do that shit?
I think that there's a good amount of women that are like that now, right? But
Okay.
of course,
Hmm.
it's not the women that are have a man already, right?
That's
So,
true.
but it's like I think what's going to happen is a lot of these younger Filipinas have seen their mom do that, and they
Hmm.
see how the father acts or how things transpired. That they're saying now is, I don't want to live the life that my mom lived. I don't want that. And and with social media, seeing how some people, and unfortunately this happens a lot in social media, especially in the Philippines because it's such a social media savvy country, is that they're seeing these other Filipinas parading their boyfriends out, their boy toys. There's Filipinas putting TikTok showing the money that they're getting from their man and stuff like that. And
Right.
I think a lot of women are saying, like, listen, I want that. And unfortunately they're only seeing that side of the story, but are not paying attention to the other larger percentage of women that has problems. So, I can agree with you that there are a lot of women, because of what has happened, they want that foreigner life in regards for that. So they want that money in a way.
Right. So, i.e., like I said, man, it kind of slides into wanting to be with foreigners for the security, the money, and the like. All right. So, I think you've already answered. You believe it to be a false belief, correct? Not necessarily true in any regard.
In majority, yes, I'll say it's a false belief. So
Okay.
but I'll say this, large percentage of the women who go after foreigners want money, and that's what they trans. So I'll be in a fair way that way. The large percent of women who gets with foreigners is to have that mindset, because a foreigner is supposed to be successful. A foreigner already has all his savings, has a house, has all that. So yeah,
Mhm.
of course.
Okay, so going on to comments before we slide into topic
Sure.
number three. For myself, shout out to GLS. What's up, brother? He says, for myself, I prefer the women who live in the provincial
Mhm.
areas. And you're going to find a lot of guys who are in the know about that one. And they kind of understand that a lot of those women are likely to be less tainted than the ones in the city. And you'll see. I'm not saying that they may not have their own, issues and stuff like that, but I will say that they are less likely to be tainted by the money-minded ideals that you'll see with a lot of women that come from your capital city of Manila and your ACs and places like that. So it's not necessarily something that a lot of guys are privy to, but once you get comfortable and you start to move around, you're gonna understand those city girls, that city girl lifestyle. It's way different when you come to dealing with women in Filipinas in the provincial areas. I mean, to me, I've seen a difference, Mike. I don't know if you've dated
Mhm.
women provincial or city life, and I'm sure you could be able to explain if you've seen a difference, yourself as well.
I mean, provincial life is it's very secluded. They're very, they're off the beaten path, I guess. They may not experience what a lot of city girls have experienced. The biggest problem that is now is that even provincial girls do have cell phones. And that and the effect of what they see in videos and all that stuff can affect it, because they don't see it in a day to day. So what they see in video kind of in a way messes their head up even more. So when they do
Mhm.
come across a foreigner, when they do end up in the city and stuff like that, there's a 304 moment sometimes. And and listen, it's no longer like back in the days where there was no lights in the provinces.
Of course.
Like I mean, when I was young, my father took me to meet up with some friends. We went to Negros
Okay.
in Escalante, and this was in 85, 86, around that time. And what's funny was, you're okay during the day, then all of a sudden night hits and everything was dark. And
Mm.
you can only see one light far, far away. There was a real light, like electricity light, but they had like a battery pack. The place we were staying at, all of a sudden, it had burners, it had this and that stuff. There's nothing there. That was during the 80s. Now, if you go to that same particular area, which is close to Bacolod, it is like a city now. So, the thing though is it's no longer how it is back then. And so I don't know. Like I think even provincial girls can be a problem because they have a false sense of what it is with being with a foreigner or being in the city.
Yeah. So again, I kind of feel like that does come down to the essence of what type of woman you're dealing with in its, overall essence. All right. Sliding on into topic number 3. Filipinas are controlling. Myth, false belief, or somewhat truthful.
Holy crap.
Myth, false. If you want
myth,
me to go first,
like if this is myth and this is truth and this is the dial right in the middle, I'm gonna far lean a little bit more to controlling. And once again, you guys have to understand, it goes back to the matriarchal society of the Philippines, right? The woman holds to the money.
Mm-hmm.
The way it works in the Philippines is man works, goes home, gives money to the woman, and that's why she's the light of the house, ilo ng tahanan. That's why she controls the money. So there is a control sense in that way of things, right? And a good way to kind of put it is, I was asking a friend of mine this, right? Like he makes a lot of good money and he always gives the money to his woman. Like his woman gets the money, right? And I say, why do you give her the money? And what he said was this, Michael, because then she knows how much the bills are. She knows how much money we have. And she knows that if she loses me, all that money is going to disappear. So she may hold on to the money, but she understands that money still comes from my hand. And I'm like, that does kind of make sense. But what if she makes a wrong deal? He goes, well, that's why as a manager, you delegate your duties, but you still need to make sure you do follow-ups and reviews that are doing the right thing. I'm like, all right, cool, fine. And he goes, so he goes, and he does cheat. The guy cheats. He's a serial cheater. And you know what? His woman knows it. Like his woman knows where to find him on a certain day. This is no freaking joke. I was like laughing my butt off. But guess what? She knows that when 11 o'clock hits, when he's doing the bad thing, when he doesn't go home by 7, she knows he's up and about. And so if he doesn't go home by like, I think 10 o'clock, then, something's up. But he's always home at 10. He's always there. So I don't know. It's like, maybe it works, I guess. But they try to take the control. They try to take the lead. And so I think it's just up to every single guy to, control or maybe work around that system and figure out what's going to work better. But they will try to hold control of you, especially if you're dealing with a girl from Batangas. If she's Waray, up north of Samar. Those are the more hardcore ones. The island of Leyte is, so I mean, yeah, I think that they have some control things set up. That's why it's easy. That's why I honestly believe that feminism is easy to infect the Philippines, because it's the dynamics of shift already on power at home is already showing that women already have the power.
Okay. All right. I really have a little, I don't really have a lot to add to it, but overall, the controlling aspect, you're right, man. It does go back to, the fact that they have kind of been controlling the money in the household and, taking care of things for a long time. And on the flip side, my young lady, my wife, her dad worked overseas in Canada, sent his money home to the mom, and the mom took care of the kids and everything. So that's kind of how, even she was raised to an extent. So there is a part of that, right? And the same quote that you heard, I'm gonna add a little bit more to it because I heard 50 Cent say something to the same effect. He was like, his grandfather gave his grandmother the check, and from that perspective is so you can see how much money we have. Not necessarily if you leave me, if you leave me, this is how much you're gonna leave. I understand that one, but he was saying it, basically this is how much we have. So when it comes to making decisions about material things, they can buy the shit if they want to, but they gonna know how much money is left after it's bought, right? So if you think about it, I understand that I'm in a relationship where I like to monitor the money. I like to be in control of it. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. But for example, if I came home and I gave my wife my entire check and she knows how much I have, Now she knows she's paying all the bills, like you said, doing all of that stuff, and she knows what's left over after the bills are done, right? So the amount of money that's left over, she knows that, for example, this is all we got left to live off of for the rest of the month. So you're making better decisions about, oh, let me just see what I could get and let me see what I want. Oh, you're a rich foreigner guy, and you just come to the Philippines, you just got all this extra money. Nah, baby, you see the numbers and you see things are a whole lot different. If we were living in the Philippines, for example, or living in the United States, it's different than life in the Philippines than it is in the United States. Right, it's different when you see these are the actual figures that we working with, and this is all you got left to work with for the rest of the month. So if you want to go buy you that Birkin bag, I want you to understand what we have left to live off of for the rest of the month. That was kind of the mindset of it. You just get to see the amount of money. So from the controlling aspect, a lot of people will see it differently, but for me, I think that it's contingent on the situation. Like you said, some girls,
but it can get out of hand. So like you still have to understand how to control that stuff. So I mean, it can get out of hand, and that could be a problem for some guys. I mean, and then that's the problem also for some guys is like, I don't want to deal with these Western women, or this is how it is there, so I'm going to go to the Philippines. And then so you hold on to your money, not understanding the dynamics of how family works in the Philippines. So you don't share that information. So the fact that when a man doesn't even share with a woman how much he makes, now only share it with a woman if you're with her fully. When you're married to her, I'm not saying just a girl that you're dating. What ends up happening is if they don't know what's going on in the money, they think that you have money. That's the first thing. It's funny. It's like I've met several Filipinas, and they say, "Oh, I thought he was good and stuff like that," and then all of a sudden I find out he's broke, right?
Right.
And I'm just like, well, didn't you know? Well, he used to be this. Well, hold on, what did you say? And they're like, he used to be this. He used to be that. And then if you ask a Filipina, well, okay, how much does blank make in the US? They don't know. They just think that just because of the career that they have, that all of a sudden they make some money. But one thing I tell you, if you tell a Filipina like me, for example, I'll tell a Filipino, I'm a nurse in the States, they're like, oh my God, you make 6 figures. They know what nurses make, because that's the dream of a lot of people.
Right.
They have no understanding. Sometimes, unfortunately, they do not have the understanding of what a foreigner makes, and then a lot of foreigners do lie about that stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah, they take it to the extreme of showing, leading with the wallet and doing all this extra shit with money that is probably borrowed or loaned, or, we often have conversations about foreigners should never lead with their wallet. But of course, you got a couple of guys that'll sit there and be like, hey, yeah, my girl wants this and I'm gonna go ahead and get it for her. Oh, I'll just make it back when I get home, or I'll find a way to pay it off when I get home. So you're doing all this shit up front. And she has this, like you said, this thought process. Yo, my guy is rich as fuck, man. I can have whatever I want. And that's kind of the narrative that you as the foreigner create. So, like you said, a lot. To be honest with you, I'm gonna ask you this. Do you believe that a lot of foreigners create the controlling situations that they are in?
Yeah. I mean, in my end, it's like you have to have self-accountability, right? So if you have accountability, you have to understand that if you put yourself in that situation, the woman's acting that way, that's you. You chose that woman. You didn't know how to assess her fully, or you got in too deep and you start doing things. In the end, guys will like I see a lot of guys blaming women so much, Filipinas especially and stuff like that. And I'm just like you flew 8,000 miles to see this girl. You had a choice not to be with her. You had a choice to dump her, but you didn't, because you didn't want to waste your time because you got some punani. The fact you got punani, you got blinded, and so you can't blame the woman. It's like I just did a video earlier on today in a Rafi Tulfo video reaction. The guy wants all his 3 million pesos back, but he gave that money to her while he was in love with her. Why? You can't be an Indian giver all of a sudden expect it back, even if it's under false pretenses. Just have accountability, just walk away. You know?
I feel you, man. So shout out to my man, Mr. Social Distance. He says it is somewhat true. He said, I got a 47-year-old trying to do that to me, trying to be controlling, I assume, and that's why you let her go. Hey, man, you got to stand your ground, man. You got to put your foot down. All right, so sliding on, I think we're good. I'm just trying to make sure there ain't no more topics or anybody that said anything about Filipinas being controlling. Cool, guys, 22 in the building, man. If you guys haven't already dropped your like, make sure you drop a like. Like I said, man, we're happy that you guys come through and spend a little bit of time with us on this beautiful, beautiful Friday evening, or wherever you guys are reporting in the world today. If you guys want to support, you already know how to do so. All right, this one, I'm not sure if this one's going to be 100% true for a lot of people, but Let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and read the room on this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, topic number 4. Filipinos are amazing cooks. Filipinos are amazing cooks. Do you want me to go first, Mike? Because I see you smiling, man.
You got this, man. You got this.
All right, I'm gonna tell you. See, I
hold on. Is the wife here on? Is the wife here on? Can she hear?
Yeah, she could, because she has the TV off in the other room, so she can hear everything that I'm saying as I speak.
Okay,
I'm gonna tell you the truth. No, go ahead.
Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. Is she a good cook?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Right, go.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is she learned to cook for me. And that's the craziest thing. She really didn't cook before she met me. Her mom cooked all the time, right? I want you to understand, when we met, she was living at home with her mom. Actually, no, she was in a dorm at the college, but neither here nor there, she was still at home. First thing she did is she learned to bake. Like, I like fucking cheesecake and shit like that, man. She's like, okay, YouTube. Figure this shit out, man. She YouTube University graduate through and through. Then she learned to make some of my favorite fried chicken, shit that I missed back home when I was living in the Philippines. The only thing, and I love her for this, she gonna hate me for saying this, right? But I had a thing for American biscuits, like the shit that you get at your Bojangles and shit, the biscuits.
Biscuits.
Love that shit, man. She couldn't do it in the Philippines, bro. She tried. It just didn't work. I don't know if it was the ingredients, man.
That's because she was putting star margarine, not the real butter, man. That's what's going on.
Bro, I went out there and bought Crisco, man. I went to fucking SNR and bought Crisco for this shit. For some reason it just didn't hit. But like I said, man, hey man, you can't get it all right all the time.
Can't get it all.
But yes, man, wifey is an amazing cook.
Right, there you go.
And that's all I can say about that. Now I'm gonna be shit. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yes, ma'am. You can come over here and say hi if you want to. You good? But yes, ma'am. But you are an amazing cook, and I love you, huh? Because we're doing a topic on myths about Filipinas, and the topic is that Filipinas are amazing cooks, right? And I'm talking to my wife, y'all. So y'all just wait. Look, Dot can't pull away. Just give me a second. I told them that you learned to cook for me. You told and she gave you the thumbs up. See, I ain't lying. It's the truth. And you the shit. Toilet, right? I appreciate it. She makes synagogue for me. Like, look. You good? Can I go back to the show now? Love you. Bye. Anyways, yes, the wife is.
My bad, bro. That was my fault.
She was going to hear it. She was going to hear it anyways. It doesn't matter. What's that? Nah, this room ain't gonna be soundproof. I'll figure it out. Anyways, yeah, I won't gonna avoid that one. But yeah, the wife can definitely cook, man. I think that does apply to the majority of Filipinos, unless you are raised in the city area where you go out all the time. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, to an extent, a lot of guys looking to date college age women or women that go to college. It might be very difficult for you to find a young lady that can cook, because when you're living in the dorms, chances are you can't cook a lot, depending on where you live. And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate to let you guys know where there might be some struggles in finding women that can cook, right? If they come from a household where mom did all the cooking and maybe they didn't help, or they're living in a college dorm and all they do is go out to eat quick meals, you can't have that expectation in the beginning that those particular types of young ladies are going to be your best chefs. Now, yeah.
Is it a myth or is it false?
Oh shit. Okay, so
for you in your reality, it's they can cook in your reality,
sure.
But
in my reality,
assessing other Filipinas that you surround yourself with, that you're friends with, can they cook majority, or it's only a minority?
Shit, man. Give me a second, man. I gotta channel my youth for a second.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's hard for me to tell in fairness, because I wasn't around these girls and I never tried every girl's cooking. Like, nobody really cooked around me like that. So I never had a chance to really try it. But I do believe, in fairness, every Filipina has a signature dish.
Okay.
A go-to that they know they can kill it every single time.
Okay.
So would I say that all, because we're being generalizing, in the majority, I would say the majority, yes, but there is a slight minority that may struggle in the kitchen. I don't know if any of you guys have ever come across any Filipinas that struggled in the kitchen. I would love to hear that. I would love to hear what you guys got to say about that one. But for the most part, I give credit where credit is due. If you're dealing with Filipinas 30 years and above, chances are she knows how to cook. And I don't know why I'm saying that. I really don't know, but I do believe that if she's used to being a caretaker of sorts, I would say that that comes with the duty of being a caretaker of sorts, right? And it comes with age. But Mike, I don't know what you feel, man. Let me know how you.
Okay, I think I think you actually what's good is that we talked about your lady first, right? Where she learned to cook for you, right?
Yes.
So if we just generalize in something like this, you guys have to understand. Number one is, can you tolerate Filipino food all the time? If you can't, understand that they know how to cook the dishes. If they know how to cook, okay, they know how to cook the dishes that they want, and it's typically sinigang, menudo, adobo, and dying, whatever it is, right? So dried fish, so or anything fried. So you have to understand that those what they know. So some guys are like, well, she doesn't know how to cook. Well, what kind of food do you want? I asked her to cook me some pasta. They don't cook pasta much in the Philippines. I mean, that's why even the spaghetti is completely different. It's sacrilegious for any Italian. So you can't expect the Filipina to understand how to cook that. Now, here's you can even say it's a theory, but actually it's been practiced by me. If you date somebody in the lower socioeconomic level, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to cook as much because they're fairly limited with type of things that they can actually surround themselves with to cook. That's why they're going to be using a lot of dried fish, canned goods, because those are always going to be cheaper. Instant noodles and stuff like that. They're not surrounding themselves too much in regards for cooking, so they don't have that particular experience. But they do cook a lot because they're expected to work, and handle the house while mom and dad is also working. So in regards for cooking, the lower income level, they don't have the skills of cooking as much because they're not exposed, and they don't get to expose themselves with other dishes that opens up their mind or has the extra capabilities to purchase the ingredients. Okay, when you go to middle class and stuff like that, now you're going to start seeing them that are able to cook a little bit more because of that level. And typically when you start seeing the middle class families, the dad's working or the mom's working, but someone's at home. And unfortunately, like I said, a lot of women work more, so the father is a better cook. The question is, does the daughter end up learning from the father how to cook? Because the middle income people, guaranteed, in my experience, the father is the better cook from what I've seen. Now, once they start getting in the higher echelon, then they can cook even better. And the reason for that is because they're exposed with foods that they can try and they want to learn. They have extra money that they can afford for ingredients to purchase stuff, take classes sometimes, and they go to actually a good school. So if they are able to go to a private school, whether it's a Catholic school, just a private school, they have home economics in those type of schools. The more expensive schools where they have that, and so they learn home economics and how to handle the kitchen, how to sew, how to do those things. So typically, if you want somebody that's a good housewife, you want to look into her education and where she went to. And if she was able to at least go to a decent school, then what happens is they learn home economics. And the richer they are, the better they are at cooking. This is the weirdest thing. And the reason why I say that is because the father is making lots of money. The mom is going to make sure she takes care of her husband, so she learns how to cook. And I've seen it happen. I was dating this girl for a while, and we stayed over her province house, and everyone was there. And I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, like I always do, make myself some 3-in-1 coffee. And her mom, they had 3 maids and a driver and a gardener, okay, in the province. 3 maids, and these are the people that live there, not in their city, not there in their house in Las Piñas. And so the mom was cooking breakfast for the father, and what she said was, I'm like, do you want me to cook? I can fry the eggs. She goes, no, only I know how to cook the eggs for my husband.
That's it. That is true.
And I'm just like, I look, and when the girl I was with woke up, I was like, do you know how I like my eggs? She's like, fuck no. She's like, ask the maid. And I was like, when she wakes up, she'll cook breakfast for everybody. But I guess the mom was just literally cooking for the father.
Yeah. Everybody else will either like the food or they not. But as long as my man's good, I don't give a fuck. That is a very true statement. Cause my stepmom, shout out to her, she's awesome. For my dad, same fucking way. Like only she knows how my dad likes his shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? It could be something as simple as a baked potato, but I'm telling you, there's a certain amount of sour cream, there's a certain amount of everything. The way he likes his fish fry. I mean, only she knows how to cook it, and like I said, my dad will cook it, and that's the like when you said it, it triggers, right? Because everybody can't cook food the way that you like it. And eventually, if you're in a relationship long enough, I would hope and know that your young lady will know how you like your food, right? Toast in the morning, man. I like my shit a little on the dark side. I don't just like that 5 seconds on one side, 5 seconds on the other. That white shit that's still flimsy. I don't like it. I like toast. Like it even something as basic as that. That's something you learn with being in a relationship over time. So yeah, I get that.
But let me segue because I learned something in TikTok like about a month ago about toasters. Like you know the dials in the toasters.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you know about those dials? Is that the setting to like how dark you want or how light you want it?
As
Is
far
that,
as I'm aware,
okay.
if you turn it all the way over, I go 1 through 5. 5 would be that it stays down longer, so that the bread toast a little bit longer to darken it. I assume that's pretty much
Well, did you know that actually the dials, the numbers are the minutes? So if you wanted to toast for 5 minutes,
that's there you go.
so I just learned that last month. I was like, what the fuck? What the hell? I was like, so I go to my kitchen, right? I take out 2 toasters. I was like, let's see if this is real. And I was like, oh my God, it's real. And I was like, I didn't know. So like all the time, like put it at a 5. But no, it's like, yo, toast it for 5 minutes, toast it for 3 minutes. That's how I want it. So yeah, I just learned that last month. I was like,
damn, the more you know, man.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man.
Fuck, man. TikTok ain't just for dancing, huh, man? Shit,
you learned something in TikTok,
shit.
man. You learned something TikTok.
Right. All right, so before we slide into the next topic, guys, I did see a lot of guys in the comments saying, I cook for myself and stuff like that. That's awesome. I do believe that a man should know how to take care of himself. Don't ever get it twisted, man, because I don't want you to be broken, destitute, and sad and shit if your girl ever leaves you and you don't know how to cook, right? Or you're back to fucking hungry man meals and the ready-made dinners and shit. Okay, I do believe that a guy should learn how to cook, and some guys really do take the helm on that. A lot of guys
are better cooks.
Yep. And Alex, I read your comment, man. You talking about grilling. Oh, man, there's a lot of guys that are hella grill masters, and a lot of guys focus more on that. And then the wife is somewhat the one that cooks all the other side dishes and shit. If you're on the grill, or I cook, they clean. It's kind of it's a relationship. It's a myriad. Honestly, in my relationship, the wife cooks, and 9 times out of 10, I'm in the kitchen doing dishes. That's me. Right. That's my role. Right. I'm a sous chef, and I'm cool with. I am 100% cool with my role. All right, so got that out the way. We're going to go ahead and chalk that one up to us. We'll just say somewhat true. I think we can live with that.
There you go.
Somewhat true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we are on topic number 5, which is, now this one's definitely right up my alley. Filipinos change when coming to the United States, or if you bring them to whatever foreign country you are living in. Damn.
This is your experience, man. This is your experience.
See, because I feel like everybody gonna look at me crazy because Doc's experience.
There we go.
Do not mirror everybody else's experiences. The beautiful thing about my wife, before she moved to the United States, she knew more about my culture than I did. Like, she was big on social media. Didn't Facebook. She knew about shit before I knew about it. She knew about people dying before I knew about it. She was big on what was happening in my country and in my culture. It didn't impress her, didn't faze her a lot. So before I even brought her here, knowing that she knew what to have an expectation for, and I think that's always important, making sure they know what to expect before they come to the United States or your home country, it's always better for them to have a not a firm grasp, because you can never say that till they're actually here, but a little bit of an understanding of what to expect. And because she had that when she got here, of course it was a little bit of a culture shock, but for the most part, she started to understand a little bit more about, what it was really like living in the country. She was able to have access to my bank account information because that is a requirement for the visa process, the fiance visa process. So she knew what I was making and all of that stuff. But she knew, okay, these are the bills. Right? She knows about all this stuff. So it started to become an understanding like, yeah, although foreigners do have a lot of money, or of course they make more money than your average Filipino does, she knows that there's still this, and this left to take care of. So sometimes some foreigners aren't left with a lot. So
Mhm.
when you're aware of the dynamic of living in the United States versus living in a place like the Philippines, I mean, it starts to create a clearer picture. It starts to create a these motherfuckers over here busting they ass, a lot to get what they have. And granted, it's a lot to us from the Filipino perspective. To them, it's not necessarily a little, but it's not as much as you actually think that it is. So if I had to say, did she change when she came here? Absolutely, because everybody has to adjust and adapt, right? I do believe even when we go to the Philippines, to an extent, us foreigners, we find a way to adjust and adapt, right? If you're not used to Filipino foods, you want to go out and try some shit. You feel a little fancy, a little, a little risky. You want to go out there and try your meriendas and the carinderias and shit. That's that to me to an extent on a loose basis. Of course, is the adaptation of a foreigner coming to, a place like the Philippines. But she adapted, in my personal opinion, for the good. Um, she doesn't take anything for granted, which is dope. And it just becomes something that it does depend on the type of woman that you choose to be with in the long run. I mean, there's just no way to get around it. That's really what it's rooted in. The type of woman that you choose to bring. And I do believe, guys can agree or disagree, the amount of time put into the relationship plays a major part as well. If you've only known her for a year or two and you're already talking about, yo, I'm bringing you over,
Mhm.
I'm not saying wait as long as I did, but I am saying that you really have to have that time in. And yes, I really was in the Philippines with my wife damn near the entire time that we were in a relationship together. That made it easier. But if you're off and on, 3 months in, 5 months out, back for another couple months or so, and this back and forth, I understand the wanting to bring her to the country or wanting her to be with you. But then again, you have to make sure you're making the right decisions for yourself. Is this
Mhm.
truly the type of person that you want to expose to a culture like ours? Like, I mean, you have to understand that always plays a major part as well. And I'm rambling, Mike, but that's
No,
pretty much my thoughts on it.
I
Yeah.
think those are pretty clear. So, I mean, like, proximity, time, and action, PTA, right? The
Hmm.
more that you're together, I mean, like, there's relationships in the U.S. or Western countries that you are there living with her. She's around you 24/7. She's around you easily, and the relationships still don't work after a year or 2, 3 years later. And for some guys, sometimes to think that you with a woman for maybe 3 weeks, each time you visited twice the year, let's say for a total of 6 weeks, and then all of a sudden within that year you take her back home, you think that that's enough to marry this girl? There's going to be a problem. So, when you're what you were talking about earlier on today, about her changing, number one is you're talking about the basic stuff like what they experience and stuff like that. I think a lot of guys are when they say that they change is they all of a sudden they hoe around, they start cheating, they don't care about you, then they divorce you. I think that's one of the biggest scares that a lot of people have. Number
Hmm.
one, they are going to change. Let's be honest. Just as
Yeah.
you as a foreigner, if you move to the Philippines, you are going to change.
Yep.
So because you have to adjust to your surroundings. Now, what I agree with Dr. Mike is the fact that, and what's one positive is that your wife was proactive in wanting to engage and learn about your culture, about whether being black in America, or just the fact of being an American, right? So
Right.
but still there's one thing where you see it, you hear it, and where you actually feel and experience it. So now she's in the ground, she probably is like, I knew about this, but I didn't know that it was like this. So I think as a man you're supposed to lead your woman, and so it if you're able to help her adapt, then it's going to be better. To be honest, for a lot of guys, is that most guys are not leaders. Let's just be honest. And a lot of guys can't lead a woman. And the thing is, a woman is going to change if you let her change. Like
Yes.
one thing that doesn't that nobody has discussed, and I've actually been wanting to talk about this a little bit more in a video, and I still haven't yet. I don't know why, but I've been putting my notes together to have a better presentation on it. So, but I want to bring my one part of my notes here, that you guys have to understand: a big change like this for a woman, where she leaves her entire family, where she leaves her whole identity, where she literally lost her notion of safety. Now I know, but I provided her safety. No, but still the fact that she lost that. the safety net that she knows is gone, and she was willing to open herself up to come to your country. One thing that doesn't get talked a lot is the depression that a woman will partake. She will be depressed. And unfortunately, some men don't understand the basic idea of depression. She just lost her entire family. Think of them, they're dead. That's pretty much how the experience is. She's in a depression. She may be, trying to smile for you, to show you that you want, but there's a depression that's going to happen. And if you are not able to sustain that, guess what? That's when changes starts happening, because then somebody else will be the one that provides that safety, that comfort that you give. And when you think that you bring a Filipina back home, that's it, all of a sudden you're going to send them out to the world. No. You need to spend more time with her. You need to pay more and close attention to her, because that's the thing. But some guys are like, oh, she's good. I'm here. I bought her the new boots because it's winter. I bought her the new jacket. Oh, I got her this. I got her, I got her the new iPhone. Those are very materialistic things. If you don't look at the mental aspect of things and pay attention to that, that is what's going to cause a lot of things. And for a woman, they're very kinesthetic. They're very feeling driven human beings. And if you can't help them with that, and that's why, that's one aspect. And the other aspect is, all of a sudden what? She wants to work, and you put her in a workplace, the wrong workplace. So whose fault is the fact that she has to work? The man's fault, because he doesn't have enough money to provide for her, because he agreed to all of us to take care of the family, but he's going to put her to work so he doesn't have to pay more money so that she can provide for them. A lot of guys don't pay attention to these little nuances, and then they blame America, or they blame the co-workers. No, you put her out there. Where's the accountability that puts in place that you can't control a woman? Where's the accountability of the fact that you did not pick the right woman? Where's the accountability that you did not find out her hypergamy rating, that all of a sudden her idea of what America is a 3-bedroom house in Beverly Hills, and then you took her into a double wide in Alabama?
That's a tough. Hey, throw that in there. She has to know where she's moving to too.
Yes.
Don't.
It's like you like I was watching a live once, and I'm just like freaking out, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy's he's planning to bring his woman to the United States, and I'm watching the dynamics in this background. He lives in a house with another man, and they're smoking up a storm in that house. Like, no, I smoke, but I don't smoke inside my house. I know how that's going to be nasty. But here's two dudes living in one place, and he's like, eventually we're going to move out, and I'm going to move out, and and I'm just like, yo, but no, when you pick her up, you're going to move in there, and there's another man. There's like, and then did you show her around? Like, here's a good example. I know this girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
She met herself a foreigner. Okay. She met herself with a foreigner. The foreigner was like, he liked her, and he's like, but he couldn't come to the Philippines right away. So what he did was he funded the money for her to get a tourist visa to the United States so she can come see him. Like, she gave back the money that was put there, because you have at least $10,000 in the bank out, and she had a decent job. She worked for Resorts World, the casino and stuff like that. So she had a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem. He's a country boy. All right? And she's a city girl. And then all of a sudden, he wanted to show her his place. So he took her camping. He took her, they went grilling. They went, they were axe throwing. Like, they went to those type of places, right? And that's cool. I'm like, that's fucking awesome, right? And she started complaining because she wanted to see the freaking mall. And guess what? When she got back home to the Philippines, she broke up with him because she's like, I cannot live that lifestyle. And he did not take her to the mall. He took her to the mall on the last day, because by then she was like, I just want to see a mall. And I'm just like looking at her, I was like, do you understand that this dude loved you? The fact that he wanted to do this for you? And, but that's where understanding is that, where is her mindset? How does she think? And some guys think, but for some reason, that's why I'm just saying, some guys have the mentality of daddy-daughter relationships. So they just have this thing where, like, well, she's just going to have to listen to me because I know what's right.
Okay.
And then that just ruins it up. Like, the mental depression that can happen. And a lot of people don't think about the mental stuff of people. And that's one of the worst things ever. And that's, I think, one of the biggest relationship problems that exist, is because guys did not underestimated that particular aspect of the move.
Oh yeah, man. Filipinos heavy into the family. A lot of Filipinos in general, and like you said, man, to separate them from them like that. Oh yeah, that's an adjustment process, and it's not an easy one. I mean, you do have to pay attention to your girl, man. You can work as often as you need to make sure you provide. But I'm not like I said when I tell y'all that it's a lot of fucking work to be in a relationship, bro. This shit ain't for everybody. I'm gonna tell you the truth,
Mm-hmm.
because managing your time, doing what you need to do to try to build whatever it is that you're building, but also making sure your girl is okay. Because again, this is a decision you made, a decision that she committed to with you to come with you wherever it is that you're living. But yet and still, she may have said yes, but you have to understand shit changes, man. I mean, depending on where you're living at, I mean, it's an adjustment process, and everybody can adjust. But one thing I'm not a fan of is guys who bullshit, though. I ain't gonna lie. I know I'm jumping around, but guys, I know a lot of guys who have bullshitted about their lifestyle. They come to the United States. Oh well, shit. This is us now. I'm in an apartment with like 5 other people and shit. Yo, we just got this one bedroom that we're living out of, and this is what we call home. Man, feel the fuck out of here with that. And then again, like I said, and then when they leave you for somebody else, whose fault is it? You know where the blame's gonna go. But anywho, question, Cold Fusion, what's up? She says, question for the Filipinos that do go buck wild in the United States. Why is that? What causes Filipinos to go buck wild? Mike,
She was a
one.
she was a hoe at the beginning. Like and some dude, she was a wild Mustang. We'll just say that she was a wild Mustang back home, and then all of a sudden you had a cowboy come to the Philippines thinking that they can tame a wild Mustangs. No, you let them loose. The thing though is there are a lot of that it's just the wrong girl, and guys miscalculated, their capabilities of to be able to handle a girl. She's gonna be more girlfriend, gonna give you the more the fake girlfriend living, right? The girlfriend experience, right? Because she has that. But then guess what? Once again, if you do not understand her hypergamy rating and her femininity rating, if you don't start figuring that out, guess what? And then you don't understand your capabilities to control a woman in regards for, I'm not saying control as to be, whatever. I'm saying is like to be able to handle the situation. It's gonna go buck wild on you, and that's what's unfortunate. If you can't provide the money, she's gonna find somebody. A 304 is gonna find somebody who can provide the money that she wants. But I think a lot of the girls that we talk about that goes buck wild in the United States are because guys took home themselves a 304, took themselves home a bar girl. Like, why is not anybody talking about, oh, Filipinas change when they get no? Got yourself somebody that got paid for punani, to get some, and then all of a sudden you think that that's gonna change. You take them to the U.S. when then there's more options, there's more foreigners. Are you kidding me? I'm like, come on.
Unlimited access is a recipe for disaster if you're dealing with 304s, man. You're gonna bring them to the country where they all live, where all the simp motherfuckers live. The ones you mean to tell me I don't have to shake my ass in a bar to find somebody to throw a couple pesos on my ass? I'm here in the country where these guys normally come from. Oh man, it's only a matter of time. And again, it's only a matter of time.
65-year-old brings himself a 21-year-old Filipina from the United States back, back to where he's at now, among other men who are 60, 65 years of age as well, who cannot go to the Philippines, but then all of a sudden realize that they don't want, the only girls that they can get are the 65-year-old with no teeth, then all of a sudden here's this 25-year-old that went for a guy who's 65, and then this guy who's 65 thinking he's a bad fool, and then I did this and will share everything, told all these dudes, and they're like, they've been wanting to be with a young girl for the past 30 years. They're like, oh, well, let me see it when they have problems, whatever. Okay, so it's just funny to me how some guys are, and they blame the women. I'm like, no, have accountability. What type of woman did you get? And most of the time, if you ask the guy, if they say that they're Filipina, acted up in the United States, ask them, where'd you find her? They're gonna say several things. I'm gonna answer it. Dumaguete, Leyte, Samar, Angeles City. They don't even need to tell me what type of work she does, and I already know what's up. And it's always those four. Those four.
Those areas, boy.
All right? Those
Uh,
four.
those areas be getting it. And come on now, like, come on, let's be honest. Come on now, come on now. Come on. I don't even, no more. Last comment. We're on to the next one. All right. Kiki says it all depends on the socio-economic environment the Filipina came from. Really, if she is from impoverished province, the Western lifestyle is going to overwhelm her. Yeah, that could definitely be a thing for sure. Not that's trust me, this lifestyle is not for everybody. The Philippine lifestyle, when foreigners go there, that shit is not for everybody. Man, you've seen poverty. If you haven't seen poverty like poverty in the Philippines, it could definitely overwhelm foreigners too. So, like I said, same rules apply. All right, 15 in the building, man. If you guys haven't already dropped your like, make sure you drop that like. Last comment, he says, I can't wait to call in and tell you a story about a 304. He said my girlfriend father has. We're gonna drop the link after we go through the final shit, man. I got a couple of more myths that I want to smash on. We might try to limit the topics, maybe about 5 or 10 minutes or so that we can get through the last. No, we only got like 3 left after this one, I think. All right, so yeah, we will be dropping the link so that you guys can come on with us. So just hold that story, man, and we'll be glad to bring you on. All right. Topic number 6, ladies and gentlemen, is there you go, Mike. Filipinas are amazing in bed. Myth, false belief, or somewhat true. And I have nothing to say about that one.
Yeah. Let's keep you safe. I don't want somebody to be stabbing you in a few seconds, man. All right. So I will take the reign on this one, ladies and gentlemen, because we want to save a brother's life and we don't want to harm him. So here's the thing, guys. It's funny is like when what we hear of this thing and finish this up for me for the people that are watching. Mike, don't. Okay. All right. So you hear this a lot from a lot of guys. I want a lady in the streets, but a what? You guys know the answer to that. Let's be honest. No real lady that you're saying you want a lady is going to be good in bed. So if you want lower body counts, all right? If you want lower body counts, you want somebody who doesn't know how to slurp the dicky, then you have to understand that a woman is not going to be good in bed. Now, if you're willing to forego a couple numbers in the bed notches, then you might be able to find yourself somebody who's good in bed. All right. Now, there are a lot of Filipinas that are what I call try hard. Oh my God, girl, you keep at it. Keep at it. That
good job.
A for effort. A for effort. Just no, it's ow. So look, let's just be honest, right? It's just how it is. Right? So look, I've even had a Filipina pull out Pornhub in front of me to try to be like with a tutorial that she needs to follow. So listen, you got to give those girls kudos. Now here's the thing: if a woman is very romantic and then she's with a man, you have to find out like the type of guys that she was with. Now, if you could see that she was in a longer relationship with the person, there's a higher chance that she's going to be good in bed. If she's been in long-term relationships, because that means a woman gets better because she enjoys what she's doing. So that's how you learn the skill. And just Malcolm Gladwell, 10,000 hours of doing something means you become an expert. Bro. So if you want one of those really amazing in bed, well, then you need to figure out several things. How many hours has she spent in bed? So that's what I was saying. Try to find somebody who's been in long-term relationships, but not the long ones where it becomes sexless. But that's just one thing that I have to say. So are they an amazing in bed? Yeah, I've been with a lot of amazing, Filipinas in bed. So true. But I'll be honest with you guys. The really good ones were the ones I picked up for the night. Were the ones that I picked up in BGC, picked up over in Tomas Maraton. I'm not talking about pay to play girls. I'm talking about girls, unfortunately, who don't mind giving it up and enjoy what they're doing. So that's my answer to that. So, and then, and it's funny, like some guys will be like, oh, well, I'm going to teach her how to be good. You can't, because you're going to teach her how to, you do it. Mm-hmm. She has to learn it herself. True. Right. But like I said, a lot of girls want to do right by their man and they will learn. I know some rich girls that hired a gay dude to teach them how to give BJs. And they actually paid this dude, no joke, guys. I'm gonna tell you guys, 25,000 pesos for the night, so they had this little wine party, about 20 girls, and here's this gay dude with dildos going and showing them how to handle the business. And that's my thing. They want to provide. And you know what I did? This is no joke. I'm not fucking joking, guys. All right. So my ex tells me that she's gonna go to one of these, and I'm just like, how much is it for you? I was willing to pay. I was like, yo, are you telling me you're gonna watch yourself? Like, I was like, because I thought that was amazing. I was like, how much am I paying? She's like, no. She's like, my friend paid for it already. I'm just bringing wine. I was like, do we need to buy more wine? How is it gonna? How, can I watch? I'm like, I'm just saying,
Right.
So this is the thing, yo. Learn from the best. Slurp, slurp.
Hey, that
Yo,
that's a lot. But that yes, sir. All right. Let's start for the top. Let me start for the top of the key real quick. With experience, you get better with experience. We know this, right? So it's gonna take time and effort. The 10,000 hours, as previously mentioned, in order to, get it the way that you want it. Now, let's keep it a buck, man. If she's not interested in you like that, she's not gonna put the effort in. So, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It may suck for you, but it may be awesome for somebody else. It may suck for you, but she may go all out for somebody else, man. So, I mean, when we talk about it from the general statement of whether you believe that they're amazing in bed or not, I guess it just comes with the experiences. Like, what is amazing to you? I think Kiki said it, man. If you got chemistry, that makes sense, right? Shit, that's common in any relationship. Like my man said, the tutorials, they play a major part of that shit as well. So I want to say it's a combination of a lot of things that pretty much puts the stamp or seal of approval on all this shit. Okay, that's I think
I'll add a final thing here.
Final thoughts.
So listen, guys, I don't know, guys, I don't know if you've noticed this. For a lot of you guys are watching, and ladies as well, okay? Because there's gonna be some ladies watching.
Yes, ma'am, ladies.
The uglier the woman, the
is
better in bed. Because she's trying hard. She's like, I'm gonna do my best for this, so that the next guy that comes along, because they don't know, they like hungry, right? They don't know when the next slizzerp's gonna arrive, right? But for some reason, they're being passed around. Like, the uglier they are, I'm sorry. Let me be nice. Hold on. The less attractive the woman is,
yes,
the better they are gonna be in bed.
That is so true.
And I hate to say this. The more rotund a woman is,
yes,
the
Mike,
better the better she goes down. I just want to spit facts. Nobody can tell me I ain't lying right now. Those guys in the chat tell me if I'm freaking lying. The more rotund a woman is, for some reason, the oral game is pretty freaking amazing. So, like,
that should have changed your life, man.
It will change your life.
It will. It make you look at life completely different.
I'm just saying. Tell me if I'm wrong, people.
The less attractive. Let's keep it a buck. They want to try to keep this. They want to try to keep this going. So they're going all out. Yes, you're heavier set young ladies. They like to eat and consume, and so I think that comes with the natural ability to be able to go all out when the time is right. And sometimes
bro, you do a pretty good job, like, hiding the words a little bit. Like, that's pretty good, man. You don't want to get in trouble. I know. That's amazing.
Man. Come on, man.
Man.
Shit, man.
Man, that's the way to do it, man. You know how it is.
You know how long we've been doing this now? It's been a long time, sir. I'm sorry, I meant to read my man. Shout out to my boy Mr. Smith. He says, I took my brother to the Philippines last month. I think it was a mistake. He was running through women like a fat guy in a Dota shop. Many were good girls. I told him next time, Angeles City only. Hey man, do not relegate this man to. Well, yeah, if that's the case, I guess you gotta put him in a position to excel. And if you already know where his strong suits are, and you know that's really what he's known for, running like it's a track meet, this bitch. Baby AC is the place to be.
And if you take somebody, like if you take you find out you have a friend that's never been to the Philippines, and you take them to the Philippines, never take them to the places that you go to. Never take him to your sergeant places, because he may ruin it for you. You just don't know. Never take them to your sergeant places.
Mm-hmm.
Find out the next best thing that you're never gonna go to. Take them there. Don't let them ruin your house. Like, I would never take friends of mine to Xylo, except for a couple that I trust. That's in BGC, and there's a couple guys I won't take to certain. There's guys I won't take to certain Starbucks in in Quezon City, because I'm like, listen, I like this place. This is my holy grail. I find a lot of people here. Don't mess it up for me, Please.
He's like, damn, bro, I actually like this place. I have fun when I go here. People know me on my first name basis over here.
They know my drink here, damn it.
Right? Like, hold up now. Man, I gotta go somewhere else because you're fucking up. No, sir. All right.
How good it looks when you're in line and somebody goes, Mr. Michael, welcome back. Do you want some vanilla bean again? Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, I will be glad, sir. All right. Yo, going into not necessarily the most controversial topic we can talk about, but hey, man, equal opportunist, man. Myth, false belief, and legend, or myth, I should say. Filipinas only want white foreign men.
Ooh,
yes.
Yeah, we go in there.
Hey, and I said it. Okay. And the good doc said it. All right. Okay. Off the rip, false. Myth, false belief, whatever. Okay. I got one. So that's not always true if you're gonna generalize it. To be honest with you, Mike, you already know the answer to this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask you. See what your answer is, see if it correlates with mine. What group of foreigners get more punan than black and white foreigners, Americans alike, in the Philippines, dealing with Filipinos? Who gets it more than us? Who has a better opportunity? No. Aside from us.
Koreans.
Amen. So if you put a black guy and a white guy in a room and a Korean standing on the door, pretty much, we would probably lose that battle, period. Yeah. So in reality, when we start having these conversations about black and white and who gets more of this, that, and the other, I will always be the first to say, because I've never shied away from it. Looking at it from an outside, looking at it from a perspective, you would probably say that the white guy would, if between the two of us, right, black and white, you would say the white guy would probably get it more, because I do believe that there are far more access to white guys, Europeans included, that come to the country than black guys. So because of availability purposes, I kind of give y'all the nod. We can go into colonization and all of that stuff if you want to, Spanish times if you want to throw that in there, you can. But at the end of the day, we all getting some. I'm gonna tell you the truth. If let's say, for example, if I only have access to, let's say, we'll even say 1/5 of the Filipinas in the country. Do you know how large that number of females is from a mathematical perspective? If only a fucking 1/16 of the female population in the Philippines like black guys, do you still know how large that number is? So look, for me, I'm saying, even if I only had access to, and this is only a hypothetical, even if I only had access to that limited number of young ladies, do you still know how many young ladies that is? So even if you are limited, you couldn't fuck all those girls if you wanted to, bro. So for me, the way I look at it from, it's not just what they only want, because they'll probably choose Korean before they choose any of us anyways. But Mike, I'll let you have the floor, bro. You good, man. I just wanted to get that one out the way.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, for example, even the thing is, like, when you're using the numbers early on today, let's say, for example, a woman's preference is a white foreign man, right?
Right.
Fine. Okay, I understand. And a foreigner guy will take that and say, okay, I believe in that. But here's the thing: if that gentleman and I go to the Philippines, the chances of me being able to be with more women is going to be more. It's because I am willing to approach as more as possible and fail more than he will. So the thing though is, you can be their preference, but if you don't create any action to meet the right person, to meet them, to go to places to meet them, nothing's going to happen to you. Now, I'll be honest, 70s, okay, fine, let's do it. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000, I can say that the top preference was foreign white men. And I'm talking about, let's just go and said American, but that includes the Australians because they call them, if you white and you're a man, they call you an American. Doesn't matter if you're from UK, doesn't matter if you're from New Zealand, Australia, you American. Most of the time they're going to say that right away.
Right.
But in the late 2000s, it has changed and the Koreans have taken over.
Amen.
It's over. The Koreans have taken over. Now, here's a phenomenon that a lot of people are not paying attention in the Philippines. Africans, and I'm not talking about African Americans, I'm talking about Nigerians and Ghanaians are moving up in the place, and a lot of Filipinos are starting to want to be with these guys. And because these guys are coming to the Philippines to become engineers, to become nurses, and they're going to be trying to get jobs. And a lot of Filipinos are getting with a lot of these Nigerians and Ghanaians are in the Philippines now. So it's number one, it's being normalized. Number two, it's like I said, it's always a preference. That doesn't mean that's just their preference. You know how many girls said, I will never be with a guy under 6 foot tall, and for some reason those same girls I've been with, same with other guys, it's preferences. It's their first choice. But if you're a guy that can show that that you're a provider, that you can you're accepted among men, you're willing to emote, you're all those particular things that will attract a woman, all that will be forgoed. They're gonna be like, that's why I'm saying a woman will break the rules for somebody she perceives an alpha and will make the rules for somebody that is actually beta. And any preference can be broken.
True.
And if you as a man stick to preferences, you're going to have less opportunities. That's why I tell guys, stop going for just the dark ones. Go for the middle ones, the above light ones. Go for all of those. Because just to let you know, the dark one, the darkest Morena Filipina, they're going to turn white eventually without you or with you. Because they're going to be using the papaya soap. They're going to be using the glutathione. Eventually, some dude's going to pay for that. I'm just saying.
I gotta, man. I gotta go back to accessibility. I think that's key.
Yeah.
You said two things. Nigerians, they're more accessible now because they're going to school in the Philippines a whole lot more, right?
Proximity.
Closeness to proximity. Best rule of thumb ever. And damn, Mike, what else did you say? You said closeness to proximity and shooting your shot, for lack of a better term. Just going out there and talking, right? If you take action, man, like I said, you might have a girl that says, oh, I only date this type of guy. But because he talked to me and I kind of liked the conversation we had, well, shit. I mean, why shouldn't I give a chance? So why shouldn't we talk about it? So in reality, from the general statement, you could say maybe that could be true. They only want foreign men. It's not true. It's false that they only want. But what we can say is that an overwhelming majority in a period of time would have probably opted to choose white foreign men. Mike said it, 2000s and beyond, Koreans are killing the game.
They're killing it.
And
they speak Tagalog. What the F?
Like, come on, man.
They speak Tagalog.
He said, bitch, you're making my life very difficult right now. But yeah, man, they're killing it. But I can't cap, man. I love it, man. I like seeing, how they respond to it. And now you got all these girls trying to whiten themselves up for the Korean guys. If it wasn't for the white guys, now they're trying to, what's the look, man? What do they call it? The Korean look. Is there
K-pop?
a name for it? Yeah, the K-pop vibe or the K-pop look. They're really going all in on that one, and it's cool. I'm trying to read comments here.
You guys gotta know what that means.
Please.
Oppa.
Please.
Oppa.
Fucking hate
Chebo. Chajiapso. Hajima. Annyeonghaseyo.
Like you are all over it, bro. Anyway, so Mr. Smith says, have you ever noticed how the airport employees treat young white men? They get the king's treatment. I've seen teams of females employ helping one guy on 2 separate occasions. Hell, I did a whole video on it and people thought I was fucking stupid. Shout out to what's his name, bro? What's that boy? What's the guy's name? The vlogger.
What? Dustin Backpacks?
No. This is a guy that's been around for a long time. Snow.
Who?
The video, Finn Snow. I did a video on him
Oh,
like
Finn Snow?
fucking
Okay, Finn
years
Snow.
ago about the girl from
I thought you
Air
were gonna say.
Asia.
I thought you were gonna say Alex LeBlanc. I like that dude.
I've seen a couple of his videos too, man. Shout out to all the vloggers, man. I love them too, man. I give them credit where credit is due. They're killing it, and they're doing what they need to do. But Finn Snow, I did a video on him. Fuck, I want to say that was 2018, maybe prior. And this girl was literally helping him throughout his entire experience. He had lost his luggage or something from a trip, and he was going through a whole time. This girl who works for Philippine Airlines was helping him go all the way over to a whole nother terminal to fucking Air Asia to try to help him out with his situation. And everybody thought that I was being so overthinking the situation. Oh, Doc, that's just the normal Philippine way. That's just the normal nature of Filipinas. I'm like, look, man. If I had that same problem, I don't think I was going to be getting that type of attention. I'm just going to keep it a buck. If it was me in that situation, I'm not sure that I would be the one getting that much attention. And she was off work now. Mm-hmm. Her shift was over. Her ass was still there trying to help this man out. Come on, bro. That's
okay. Listen. Okay, that's happened to me a couple times. All right.
Come on, Mike. It's okay, man. You got white privilege. I'm good with it, man. It's okay.
No. But see, it's not white privilege.
It's a joke.
Let me tell you, yo, if you want, let me give some extra cool game for a lot of guys. All right. It's not really game. Get yourself a gimbal camera or a gimbal for your phone or whatever like that, and pretend you're freaking vlogging. Like you know how many girls approach me. Be like, oh my God, you're a vlogger? I was like, oh, I'm trying. And they just talk to you like, oh my, and then like vlog in the airport. That I've done that in the airport. Like I was like complaining. I was like, guys, you know, this one I was coming back, you know. But yeah, listen, because when they see somebody in the backpack, here they are with their mirrorless camera, videotaping, and all those kind of stuff going on. They're like, that's their moment of fame. Every Filipino has this dream that one moment in time that they're gonna go viral and not get a virus, but want to go viral, right? So that's why they get attention, right? Yeah. And so the backpacks wise, listen, somebody like there's like in the Passport Bro community or even the Manosphere or whatever, or Red Pill, whatever, you're gonna be like, oh, these Chads are always getting lucky. Good for them. I'm glad that the Chads are getting all the women that they want because they deserve it. They freaking worked hard in the club, in the gym. They did their their skin treatments and all those kind of things. They deserve it, and they got the good genes. The next, in the end, is like, what do I need to do to be better? Like, I know my looks is an average look, 5 at any given moment. All right, that's not good. Well, I'm better at speaking. Cool. So what if I have a DJI, my DJI Pocket? That's got me a lot of new conversations. Just having my DJI talking in front of my fucking camera, and I got conversations from it. So take advantage of it, guys. I mean, just
but they do like jumping into the background of like videos and shit. I've had that happen. Yeah, that's true. It ain't a black or white thing. It has everything to do with, just their little moment of fame. And just saying, I was in this guy's vlog once before, and they're gonna probably try to find you online. And I promise you this. That's why a lot of foreigners really do well in the Philippines, because I promise you, if somebody jumps in the back of your video and you're like, hey, follow me, you're gonna make my video. You know how many Filipinos are gonna tell their friends, yo, did you see me in this man's vlog? Like it seems to grow a little bit like that. Kind of in an organic way to an extent. I've seen it happen too. So, I mean, that's why a lot of Philippine vloggers do well, because the massive growth behind it, and it could be something as simple as, they see somebody in a video. But hey, we'll go ahead and say myth on the last one, or call it a false belief. All right, we're in the last one, guys, and then I'm opening the floor for any conversations, for us to have a conversation. All right, I'll drop the link after I drop this last topic. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the last topic we're going to cover for tonight is Filipinos expect foreigners to take care of their family once they're in a relationship. I guess when you get married, stuff to that effect. All right. Am I going first or you going first, Mike? It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Which one you want?
I'm I'm gonna let you have the floor because I'm gonna go ahead and get the link posted for the.
Okay. My answer to that is yes. Filipinos do expect foreigners to take care of their family, and let me tell you guys why. Number one is a lot of the foreigners that ends up with a Filipina. Let's just be honest. Um, you know, most of the time is you don't want her to work. The thing though is there's responsibility, there's culture in the Philippines. You have to understand that even if you're not expected, she's expected. So if you don't want her to work, she's going to take care of the family. Social security is not a big thing in the Philippines. Savings for a lot of these people is not there either. So the thing though is the family is the women are the breadwinners and they need to be able to provide for the family. It's a must. And if you're going to take their breadwinner away from them, all right? And once again, I don't think that this is bad. I think that when guys say I want a woman who is family oriented, well, guess what? Family oriented in the Philippines is not American family oriented, where you put them in a nursing home and Medicaid pays for their stay. You're responsible for it, and if you're not willing to deal with that, then don't get with them. Or if you decide to go for a Filipino whose family is pretty decent, well off, they have businesses, they have good jobs, that they don't need assistance, then perfectly fine. But if you're the average majority of the foreigners who unfortunately will go for somebody and then you don't want them to work anymore because you think somebody's going to take the girl away from you, well, yes, it is your responsibility to take care of the family. That's being family oriented the Filipino way. Now here's the thing: if you have a Filipina, she will want to work, a decent one. She wants to work because she doesn't want to put an additional burden to her man.
True.
And she will want to provide and be like, baby, I handle this. I'll take care of my family if you don't mind. And then you'll be fine. But if there's a lot of foreigners out there that sometimes, and I've heard this several times, who wants to bring a Filipina back to the US because she's a nurse or she can bring more money to the house. Oh, so you can't afford a house? You can't afford to provide for two people, so that's why you want her to work? And then you're going to complain that somebody took her away from you? So, like, for me, in a majority, yes, I think that they expect, and it's not because you're a foreigner, it's because you're her husband, you're her man. Now, if a woman expects you as a man to take care of her family and you guys are not married, then that's wrong, in my opinion.
Okay, I got you. You're spot on with everything. I want to add to that one. Back in the day, man, there used to be the dowry system where the husband would have to pay, whether it be through livestock or some sort, in order to, how can I say this, in order to take the wife away from the family, right? You would pay for her to be your wife. And to an extent, for me, the way that I look at it is probably an extension of what the dowry system used to be like now, in reference to taking care of the family, right? You're not paying with livestock or anything like that, like they once did in the past. Now it is, if you are going to take my daughter away from the family, what we ask is that you continue to help provide for us, because you're taking away what could have been a potential earner for the family. All right. So in a foreigner's mind, like I said, it does depend on the socioeconomic class. I mean, if she is of your upper echelon type, chances are that's not going to be an issue. But I've learned that there's a lot that comes with dating women in those particular realms. So does it mean that it's going to come any easier for you just because you don't have to pay for it? There's a certain level of, a way that you carry yourself and things that you have to do probably in order to make that relationship work. But as far as just your regular run-of-the-mill young lady from a certain type of class, middle class, will say, if that is okay, well, if you make it to the United States and stuff, it would be nice for you to be able to send some money home to help, right? And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And there probably is, to an extent, an expectation from some to do that. But from the foreigner perspective, I do believe that you have to draw the line somewhere, because what I'm learning is, if you're going to do that and it's going to be consistent every month, same amount every time, this, that, and the other, there's going to become an expectation. that this is what you're supposed to do. And heaven forbid you can't do that for 1 month. Now all of a sudden, who's the bad guy? Right? You know,
Yeah.
who all of a sudden who's the person that said that they were going to look out, but they can't look out for. So when it becomes an expectation, I do believe that it becomes a danger for you. At least in my mind, I'm like, yo, if something happens and you can't do it, now all of a sudden, you know, that provides an issue. And then you have some that like to send money home to help fund a sorry store, some shit like that. We all know sorry stores, bro. Come on, man. Fuck. If I hear one fucking person talk about opening a sorry store as a business in the Philippines, I might slap the hell out of it, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, there's a vlogger. We're not going to mention the name. He owned a Saudi store. Where'd that Saudi store go?
It doesn't last
All right,
long at
let's
all.
just be honest.
Oh man, all right, but that's all I wanted to comment on, man. So to an extent, we'll say that one will be somewhat true. There is somewhat of an expectation that if you do take the Filipina from the family in any regard, there may be a reason for them to have an expectation that they're going to, you know, ask for you or have an expectation for you to pay. So, my man, Mr. Social Distance, man, I see you in the background. I'll let you come on, man. Can you hear us?
How are you, sir?
Okay, I don't think your mic's working, bro. Or maybe you might want to try to unmute it. Let's see what we got. Again, guys, we not right now. Nah, I can't hear you, bro. So,
but you're talking about the dowry, though, right? So
yeah,
it all depends where you are in the Philippines, because dowry is not acceptable all throughout the Philippines. It's mainly mostly seen in Mindanao.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Area.
Oh, it is a Mindanao thing still.
Yeah, it's the Muslim backing of it that does that, but in the Catholic sense of the Filipinos, dowry doesn't exist. Now, there are some certain sects in the Philippines, like in the Negros Oriental area, where dowry was practiced in certain areas. But nowadays, dowry doesn't exist. I'm sorry, like what if a woman ever tells me that you have to pay a dowry, I'm like, you Muslim? No, then I'm not paying. Because why? Because the thing though is, why is it all of a sudden a foreigner has to pay a dowry, but the Filipino guy doesn't? I was like, does the Filipino guy have to do it? If they say no, I'm like, well, then why is it that all of a sudden I have to pay more? This ain't, I'm not going to do that. I was like, that ain't right. But, talking about how much you're going to pay for, the family, the best answer is you need to understand that before. If see what they live like when you first meet the girl, assess that. If you see that they're going to need help later on, you're the help. So you need to start budgeting. Can you afford the woman and her family? If you can't afford that, back away, right? Because you're going to get into fights later on. Then all of a sudden, bam, you guys, here you go, fight, you separate, this and that. Hypergamy, blaming hypergamy when hypergamy is a normal thing that every woman does, just like as a man will pretty much do a tree if he can. It's just, with a skirt. So, I mean, I'm just saying hypergamy is okay, but understand what her level of hypergamy is. And it's weird. The dowry in the Philippines is weird because the man pays the family compared to like how it is like in India, where the woman's family is the one that pays the dowry for the man to accept the woman, because she's considered, because in India, she's considered the burden. So they have to pay you to remove her from them.
Touche. I did hear that the payment for it was the women's family that pays in India. I did hear that too. All right. Hey man, what's going on, brother? I think you were coming through loud and clear last time we checked.
Yeah, man. Long time, awesome. Dr. Mike. I used to be Channel 19 OTR, so that's why you don't remember me.
Oh shit, bro. What's up, man? Like I said, man, I know names when I see them, man, when they pop up, but it's good to see you, fam. I know you mentioned in the chat you had a story you wanted to share with us.
Yeah, man. I had my homeboy, man. He's a Marine. He spent some time with me in my house here. Because I was homeless back in the day, and I finally got myself together. Now I'm living here in Georgia. Anyway, he got into some issues and he moved in with me for a little while. His father married a 304 out of the Philippines. And the bad thing about it was he was warned. The father was warned. The hotel staff was warning him. The family warned him. And this father, being the simp that he was, did not listen. And now Shorty's over there. They in Michigan right now. And she is acting a fool. I mean, this man's like, I think he's like 76 years old. He's retired from the like Ford Motor Company. You know, I mean, the man got money. Don't get it wrong. He got money, but this woman is, I mean, she is doing her thing. And he was constantly, my friend was constantly getting calls, and he would come to me talking about, yo, bro, when am I supposed to tell my dad? I'm like, yo, I ain't got nothing to do with this, man. He picked the wrong one. He should have left there in the Philippines. So, you know, she's just out there acting a fool up there in the United States, man. You know, it's just something I wanted to tell you, man.
So he got warned in the Philippines then, right?
Yeah,
And
he was warned. Yeah, according to
accountability.
Yeah, he was warned. He was said now, because what the story that I heard was slowly, like he was in one of those nice Airbnbs. She would come in and slowly she would start moving her clothes up in there. You know what I'm saying? And she would do it like day by day or something like that. As I heard the story, and it was like, oh, so you know, the guests were like, hey man, you know, the people down there were like, hey man, you need to chill with that. You need to watch her. And then the family was like, hey, you don't want to bring her, you know, we're trying to tell you, don't bring her to the US. You know, and man wouldn't listen. And now he's complaining. He's 76 years old. This woman's like 20 something, you know. It's like, hey man, it is what it is, man.
Damn. I mean,
what city is she from?
They're over there. I'm in just outside of Detroit. From what I know.
Where in the Philippines?
You know I don't know.
Oh, the young lady?
I don't know where she was. No,
it's one of the four for sure. I mean, it's got to be. Like I said, AC, if anywhere in the surrounding areas is likely, but see, I talk about having accountability partners in the Philippines. I do believe that's a thing, but nobody really cares, because even if you've been warned by the locals, I mean, damn, it's tough. If you have the Filipino people telling you, bro, this ain't the one to say what you want, but you still go through it anyways, that's willful ignorance at that point, man. I mean, you want to chalk it up to old age. Maybe you just feel like you need somebody. Maybe you just...
Nah, I chalk it up to simping, man. I chalk it up straight to being a simp. I'm serious. Because, I mean, Mike, you even said it yourself, brother. You know, hypergamy is worldwide. And a lot of men need to understand this. And I was in the Navy for 8 years. I was in Okinawa. I was in Korea. I dealt with a lot of Asian women.
You dealt with a lot of Japayukis.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
You dealt with a lot, man. You're talking about pro-Filipinas being sent.
Thank you, bro.
They're called Japayukis, man. Oh, Okinawa Japayukis.
Bro, the first time I went into a bar, I thought they were Japanese. No, they were Filipinas. And I didn't know. I did not know until I got schooled. And when I got, we ain't even going to talk about, I can't even say it. I don't want to mess you up, Mike, but there's a place, if you know, it's called Whisper Alley. Just ask your Marine friends. Ask your dad. He may know.
He
you know
probably
what I'm saying? Yeah, ask your dad about Whisper Alley. He'll know what I'm talking about. But I'm saying, though, I've dealt with these women, and so I understand how hypergamy works. And when I try to get in my channel, when I try to do videos, I try to get men to understand that, look, just because you got a passport doesn't mean a thing. Passport don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? These women run game all over. In fact, these women overseas, their game is 10 times stronger than these women in the United States. Women in the United States game is weak compared to women overseas. Because overseas, for the most part, let's keep it a buck. It's about that survival. So their game is top notch.
Yeah, it's not just
and they're going to do what they got to do.
They're international. They've had Americans, they've had the Australians, they've had the Europeans, they've had the Russians. If you know Brazil, you know Colombia, they had the Russians up in there. They have the Japanese in Brazil, right? A lot of Japanese dudes be going to Brazil.
You know your history. Thank you.
So they know
what they're doing.
Of men, and then all of a sudden, the women in the U.S. is just dealing with. They're just that. That's all they deal with.
I try to get men to understand that look, you don't go overseas acting like a simp, because these women will get you. And these women are exotic. Let's keep it a buck. I'm getting ready to go over to the Philippines in February. I already know what I'm about to run into. I got a Filipina that I'm dealing with. I was telling you in the comment about the 57-year-old. She was just true controlling. She's a teacher. She's very well educated, master's degree, but I had to let her go, man, because she was getting very controlling, and our conversation was getting. I was like, oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I had to let her go. I was like, nah, I got to let you go. And I mean, she was crazy about me, and that was all good. But like you said, I could just, more of that aggressive energy was coming. I was like, no, I got to let you go. But, these guys think they going overseas. Oh, I got my passport. It's like, no, guys, it doesn't work like that. If you, like you said, Mike, if you're not a man, give it up. You got to act like a man. Like you said. If you're beta, they're going to make the rules. If you're alpha, they change the rules. That's just the way it is.
Yo, you know what's scary? And this is something that I hear people who hate on passport guys. They say this shit a lot. And anybody, and I got to agree, bro. They hear the shit we talk about Western women. Not just me, not just you, not just anybody, but the way passport guys have been talking shit about Western women. Do you not think that women abroad see that and they hear that? Do you not think they're taking notes? So they already know the level of animosity to an extent. I want to use animosity because that's probably the best word. They already know the level of animosity, hatred, hate, whatever you want to call it, towards your own women. So it's almost as if this energy is being served up on a platter to them, and all they got to do is just be nice to you, call you handsome.
You're an open book. That's it. You're an open book. You're an open book. Shit. They got you.
I mean, listen.
They got you.
So Average Man Unplugged. I spoke to him a couple times already. I might actually be going to his show soon. So you have Average Man Unplugged. You have MTR, right? You have what's his name? I forgot the other guy. So a bunch of Passport Bro content creators. And it's funny when we're talking about that, Dr. Mike, about the fact that are they not understanding that these girls know in these other countries what's going on in the West? So there's this particular vlogger in the Philippines who's a woman who deals with a lot of these guys, right? And she's speaking the words that they want. MGTOW, red pill, like toxic Western women. She starts saying, I'm not saying her name.
We know.
All these other YouTube vloggers are like MTR made a video on her, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna marry her." Whatever girl, and you have Average Unplugged. Look at these Filipinas, all this and stuff, and so everyone's like, "Ding, ding, ding, yes." And I'm like, "Bro, good luck, MFers," because I know with the truth. And then that's the biggest problem is that it's the craziest thing, right? So,
no.
I mean.
It's beautiful, bro. I can't even be mad because they're catering their content.
Let the slaughter begin,
bro. They are catering their content specifically to the talking points of all the men who have this disdain to an extent from women from their own home countries. They listen and they make videos based on the same shit that you're talking about. So imagine this. I'm listening to a young lady that some may say or some may not say is a little bit easy on the eyes. And she's saying, there you go.
Chameleon.
Oh,
yeah.
It's it happens.
You gotta give her credit though. She's a patriot. She loves her country now. She's bringing in that dough. When the Philippines open up, you know how many men flew? You know how many men hit that country? Come on now.
They're like,
you gotta give her credit now.
If you looked at that comment section, I'm gonna be in that area. I would love to see you. I'm in there. Let's have lunch.
There you go.
I want to buy you a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah. You want to go on vacation with me? I'll be in Boracay.
Thank you. She's ready getting that paper.
No, I respect the hustle. Like I said, I mean, like
she's a beast. I give her credit. I give her credit. I give her credit.
There's this other vlogger, and this is why I'm like, this is hilarious. It got to the point like sometimes you just have to let them get slaughtered. It's gotten to the point you can't save everybody. Like this other vlogger, she's talking about her mama told her to make sure that the man brings out the wallet in a video, and I did a reaction to this, right? And so my company is being hired by a dating site, and I can say this up front because it's the truth. I have recordings of it, and they can never say I lied. Christian Filipina, all right, is hiring my company to do their YouTube video ads, to do their Facebook ads, to get foreigners to come in. They wanted me to be an influencer for them. I said, no, but I'll work on this because nobody knows that I'm doing it. I'm in the background. And while I'm doing this stuff, they send me a video of one of the people that I'm going to try to push. And it's that girl who said that. And she's the spokesperson for them now. And I'm looking at it as like, I can't, even though you're paying me $4,300 a month for this, this goes against, I can't do it.
My ideals, man.
Like,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
I am doing this. And I told them, I said, I'm sorry, because the thing was, that website claims that they do background checks on all the Filipinas, right?
They don't.
So
No.
Did you do a background check on your influencer? You got her because they wanted me to, like, here's a $4,300, and they were going to pay me additional more money to make 2 video tutorials to talk to guys about stuff for their videos. They're going to pay additional money for that. It was going to be somewhere around, I did the math, it was around $5,500 a year, $55,000 a year. It's a good chunk of change for my company.
True.
But I was like, no, because then that goes against my belief, and now I'm just going to mess up. And so that's the thing. It's like, it sucks. It just sucks for a lot of guys.
A man can't compromise his morals, man, for no paper. It literally, I couldn't imagine myself taking that type of money. Granted, it's fantastic cash, right? It's good to have, but then come on and talk the shit that I do. I can't be that hypocritical. But yeah, it's bruh, it's tough, man. And they know who to target. I know I've been reached out to probably about a handful of times just to make some promotional content for the same company you just mentioned. They reached out to me. That's just to make a video. I've also, every time, and shout out to my brother Earl Owens. He shows up in the chat from time to time. He says, Doc, you know what video or what ad played before your video played? It's a running joke that he says every time that Christian Filipino they show their ad before my video, he always puts it in the chat. I mean, he
got some good boobs though. Like the old school one, the one with the bad accent. She'd be like, consider the Philippines. Filipinas are kind and.
But shit, man, that adds to the extra layer of bullshit. Think about it, man. Okay, we have a couple of young ladies that we already know that have found a way to trigger the algorithm in the best way for themselves humanly possible. Now we got companies that are willing to back them, influence them, come behind them, and still perpetuate the narrative. Oh, it's almost a losing battle for a lot of them. And if they don't watch the other guys' videos, see, because here's the thing. I ask people questions all the time, and I want you guys to honestly answer this question. Would you rather take advice from a Filipina, or would you rather take advice from foreigners that have been in the Philippines?
I take advice from a foreigner that's been in the Philippines because he's been through it.
Okay.
Or I'll rather take advice from a Filipino who's been around.
Who's experienced.
Yeah, like if I can meet either a middle income or a high earner Filipino guys who's been around the Philippines, that would be my first choice. Those are the people that got me educated a little bit more to understand how the rules. This is how you talking about your friend's pops. Filipinos recognize what a 304 looks like already. It's pretty easy. They know the workers, how they act, how they walk, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And when you see that occur, they can recognize those things. That's why I just laugh with some other guys that says, "Oh, you don't know, you can't tell, a bar girl from a regular Filipina." Oh no. There is a lot. Like one good way to find out if you ever meet a girl in the streets, whatever like that, or you're in a club and stuff like that, you go inside a hotel. If that girl walks directly to the front desk first before you just walking with you to the elevator, that girl's a bar girl, because only bar girls knows that they need to give their ID in their front desk. Normal girls will walk with you straight into the hotel elevator, because girls are the regular girls are like, look, yeah. And so it's like there's certain nuances that you can pick up, and it's just, this is the thing. It's like the narrative, and we're talking about passport bros. And passport bros are being attacked in both ends, being attacked both by the women that are hearing this, and unfortunately the other side, the men who are in the extreme side of the manosphere red pill situation. I mean, look, but the thing is, I always tell people is like, these people are making fun of these guys when you never experienced and been outside the country, when you've never even done this. I mean, we talked about this, Mike, in regards to AMS. AMS was calling out some passport bros, and all of a sudden now he's making videos that he'd be like, yeah, it's a good idea. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, experience it first. Women hate it because they'll never. The women hate it for the fact that these guys all of a sudden now are willing to travel. What happened to back in the days when they were together? Where was his, level of excitement that he wants to travel? Like, why didn't you take me to Mexico? But now you're gonna go to Thailand. By yourself. That's supposed to be my ticket. By yourself.
Thailand by yourself. dude, it's interesting to see how this next level or the next couple of months and so are going to play out with a lot of guys, right? And
I got this. Yeah.
you talk about the attacks though, not to mention the level of shit that I mean. We often say never commit yourself to a relationship until you touch down, right? But we
Boots on the ground.
but we also encourage, it doesn't matter if you want to chat up a young lady online. Like, I mean, I encourage you just to communicate with a couple of young ladies. Just don't make it something that's, a commitment. But you get there, you like I said, you got the hate coming from one side, the guys who are the extreme, right? On the extreme side of the young ladies that don't hate on passport men because they travel, the women that don't like us in the West. Girls that are making the videos that are literally triggering and targeting the exact audience that they need to get overseas to continue building that army. To continue, I mean, bro, it's tough out here in these streets, man. It's gonna be hard to be a YouTuber for much longer if you want to attack certain people or you have things to say because you're like, nah, that's not how it works for us. Like because we know we've been through this shit and we know that ain't how it worked for us. But she said it though. Right? But she said it. And because she said it, you gotta be right. Fuck that. No, ain't no way in this world she would ever there was no way she would ever mislead us. No, how dare she? No, come on.
No, but she's smart. She's eloquent. She knows what she says. She knows the story, and she's Filipina. And that's what I'm just laughing. Is like for all these Filipinas that have seen these videos, they're like, "Oh, we can't wait till these foreigners starts flocking down and all that stuff." And you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking about Rick James. In Dave Chappelle's like, "Give it to me, baby." They're like, "Come on, just come on." I can't wait for the foreigners coming in. You know how many people partied in Angeles City when they found out that that they're going to let foreigners in around February, March. There was a party going on. They're like, yeah.
They knew what was coming. They could foresee. And
literally knew what was coming. No pun intended.
The guys have been sitting on their ass far too long, man. And AC was the place to be for sure. But I guess for me, man, the best we could do is keep putting out the content, man. Because you already know it's going to be a tough road. And it's gonna be consistent. It's gonna probably be a lot of hate coming in the months to come. And I can't say shit about it. All I can do is sit back and, like you said, man, let the slaughter happen. Because
I'm getting the hate though, man, lately, man. Because I've been calling out all these
people
bad things, man. It's like I'm just like calling out. I'm like, look, I want safety for guys. I want guys to enjoy themselves.
Nobody sees that.
Don't damage my fake reality. Don't damage my unicorn dreams of the Philippines and Thailand and all that stuff.
Like, the sad thing about it is what both you guys said. What these guys don't do is the one thing that the red pill community's been telling them to do: take accountability, act like a man. It's like you was saying earlier. Looks wise, you a 5, but you can get any girl you want. You got skills. You got what it takes. You got the skills. A lot of men don't have a lot of confidence. If they don't have confidence, that confidence is going to carry over overseas, and it's going to be just as bad overseas for you. And Dennis Sperling said this a couple months ago. He said what's going to happen is that same blue pill attitude that you got here in the United States, you're going to bring it overseas. And 10 years from now, the same stuff you complaining about here in the United States, you're going to be complaining about them foreign women overseas, because you're not acting like a man. You're not being the man you're supposed to be. You can get any woman you want here in the United States if you do one thing: put in the effort. These women in the United States are a whole lot easier to get than foreign women are. They really are. You just got to put in the effort and not deal with the attitude. If you don't want to deal with the attitudes, which a lot of women in the United States have, then that's different, And that's the same thing Aaron of Black Men Travels has been saying, and people are not listening to him. He's been trying to tell these guys, look, guys, you still got to have yourself together. If you don't have yourself together, these women overseas, they'll eat you alive.
Then you're going to end up leading with your wallet, because it's like in sales and marketing, right? When we do sales, when we teach sales, there can only be the lowest price. Right. There can only be one lowest price, and whoever's the lowest price will always lose and actually go out of business. And so a lot of people, when they don't know how to market, when they don't know how to sell their products or services, what they do is they drop the prices. which then your profit goes down as well. And a lot of guys ends up leading with their wallets for the reason that they don't know how to present themselves and sell themselves a little bit more. So that's the way I kind of look at it. What you were saying earlier on today was like, in the end, there's that quote, right? Wherever you are, there you are. So you take yourself there, that you're going to be the same person that you were in the US. And that's where we're seeing a lot of guys are saying, I don't want the West, because if you're blaming the women in the West, I don't like the women because they're blah blah blah, this and that, right? They change this and that, they don't respectful. But then at the same time, as if you go then to another country and you still act the same, why those women don't want you, well, guess what? The bad ones are also going to attach yourself to you. So it's like you have to, in a way, upgrade yourself or change yourself or first fix yourself, get therapy.
Yeah,
is what I always say.
They can smell it. They can smell a simp a mile away, bro. Shit.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, and there is no repellent, there is no coat of armor that can shade you or prevent you or shield you from a female smelling that shit out overseas. They'd be like, oh, this motherfucker gonna pay for some shit tonight. Just look at him. He got his little fanny pack on. He's got his I Heart PI, a Heart Philippines t-shirt on with his camo pack. It's the quintessential dress for your tourist and shit. Got a little camera around his neck and shit. They can smell it out. Even if you think that you've done everything that you can to kind of prevent or convince yourself that this is what you're ready for, in reality, it's gonna be a rude awakening. That's why like I said, man, I say accountability partners because it's true. I'm actually, to an extent, against a lot of guys traveling by themselves the first time around.
Yeah.
It got to be somebody, got to be with somebody. So you need a guide, somebody with you. I'm for some guys. Some guys can do it, but a lot of guys, man, it scares me because I know how it's gonna end. Right? You like I said, empty wallet. Hopefully something else is empty, but they're
gonna have that girlfriend experience for the whole 2 weeks when they could have experienced so much stuff. They got stuck with the first girl they ended up with that first night they were there, and then bam, it's all over,
Right. Chosen one, I appreciate you, man. Moving up in the world, he said this has been the best live stream yet. I agree. When I'm able to have differing people come on with different opinions and everybody can share on, it is awesome. Actually, I think this should be easier for you to clip up, Mike, because I put the topics on the screen so you can figure out what we were talking about. Right. So I mean, like I said, you guys could have kept up with it during the conference. You good, man?
Yeah. You guys take care. I'm gonna stay on the show, but you take care. Thank you.
All right, bro. Have a good one.
All right.
But yeah, man, this was fun, man. I don't know how much more we can end or add to it.
No, man. I think. But there's one question I have. SML says he doesn't agree. Would love to know what he means, but he doesn't agree with us. But at the same thing for you, man. I mean, clip this up and just release it several, because some people don't like to watch 2-hour, lives. Clip it up also, man. So that I think we had a lot of good conversation here that is freaking vital for a lot of people to watch, to be honest.
I'm telling you, man, there's an attack coming. There's an attack, man.
It's a trap. It's a trap,
man. And if you've been there and you've done that, you can kind of see a lot of things coming. But for the newbies, man, it's gonna be a rough road. I can tell you now, because if I understand where the passport content comes from, but to an extent, there are some things that they're leaving out that I do believe. I should say it's not that they're doing it purposefully, but they're just not speaking on it, and it becomes a problem of sorts. That's the best way for me to put it.
And a lot of the guys who are really good at creating content are still new in the game. True. That's the thing. I mean, like, respect to Average Man Unplugged. I love the fact that what he's doing is he's documenting his journey to make a decision on which country he's going to go to first as a passport, bro. He just got his passport just like a few months back. And I respect this dude. He's got some good content. But the problem that I'm seeing is that all we're talking about is just the basics. And if you have not fully been yet, you're going to get messed up. Same thing with Asen. He knows Brazil. That's great. I think that's good for him. But then he doesn't know Thailand. He doesn't know the Philippines. And so sometimes people tend to like talk about what they know, which is good. But then it affects other people when they think that what goes on in Brazil is what's going to go on in Colombia. What goes on in Dominican Republic is what's going to go on in the Philippines. And there's nuances that changes, but there's some similarities,
And I give him credit where credit is due because he took the trip to Thailand, man. He said, "Fuck it, man. Let's see what it's about." And again, like I said, bro, some of these countries ain't for everybody. Trust me when I tell you. But damn, you got to try. I see my man in the back, man. What's going on, brother? You good?
What's up, man? What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, man, good to see you, man.
Mike.
What else?
Which one? Well, Mike and Mike. Dr. Mike and Mike.
So it's both Mike, but it's mainly to you. Kuya Mike.
Which
That's
one?
Kuya Mike. That's Kuya Mike.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Nothing
I know.
much,
I changed my name to Sleep Buddy. You know, I was using my government name, and one time you pronounce it so perfectly. You know, I'm African, so I have African naming.
Got it.
This guy knows my name so well, I got to change it. That's how I'm using Sleep Buddy now.
Got it.
But,
I think I remember that. I think that was during a live, right? When we did that.
Yeah. My name is actually Francis Domawi, and you pronounce it so well. And first of the kind, I was like, nah, this guy's probably working.
Well,
for the CIA.
I have a lot of my friends are Ghanaians and Nigerians and stuff like that. So I have a lot of Ghanaian and Nigerian friends, and so like you have to like give it like a French slang when you read African names. It has to have that French slang kind of when you give it out. So that's how I familiarized myself with that.
Yeah, man. I just called to say thank you, brother, for all your content. I'm actually in the Philippines, like I told you. I missed my flight.
You're in the Philippines? Oh, you missed? I remember that. Wait, let me see the hotel.
Yeah.
Hold on. Shangri-La in Manila. No, Shangri-La in that's Shangri-La in Mactan.
Mactan. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Shangri-La also, but you're in the other side. I was at the suites.
Yeah. I ain't got money like you, brother.
It's all good, man. I mean, like, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. That's cool, bro. That's cool.
Yeah, man. So the truth be told, I came here to tell everybody that all the advice I took from you, they have worked really well. The ones I didn't take, I pay for it. I didn't prepare enough for the jet lag, so I have to give you credit for that.
Okay.
So for 3 days I was down, and I'm actually enjoying the place now.
Hey, that's the most important thing, man. As long as you're enjoying your place, So
there you go. Thank you for all the content. I finally showed my face.
Awesome, bro.
Out of respect for you.
So you're in Mactan. Did you go to so have you been hanging out in Ayala, Cebu yet?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Say what's up to Bo's Coffee. No, just to let you know, second floor, balcony. If they approach you, they working girls, okay? They're just that's all I have to warn. But the only thing I don't like about Shangri-La Mactan is just it's all that security that you have to go in and stuff like that. That's the only thing I didn't like about them. But Shangri-La Mactan is good, man. That's cool, man. Appreciate the fact that you're watching, and I'm glad that at least we saved you from some stuff, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother.
All right, man.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Yes.
Also.
Not a problem, brother. I mean, if you feel like giving like a little bit of insight into your first time experience, in the Philippines and stuff, things that you've seen when you first touched down, things you like, things you didn't like, man, the platform's yours. If you got anything you want to tell to any future travelers.
First thing, prepare for the jet lag. That's gonna hate you like a moth.
Yeah.
Second thing, have patience. They have Filipino time. When you go out, you eat. You have to ask them to bring your bill. They don't even want to bring your bill. So you have to have patience, and don't go crazy with women. I've come here and they throw themselves at me all the time. I'm waiting for one right now to come. One left yesterday. I was actually trying to find someone here to see I can build something with, but I realized that's too serious for now. Let me get the lay of the land, enjoy myself. Then when I come back, I have more time off, and I can keep my eyes open for that.
Have you gone to Mango Square yet?
No.
Okay, it's in downtown by the Rotunda. It's good nightlife.
I'll put on my. Well, the chick I got coming.
Okay.
She's crazy like that.
Okay.
She's crazy like that. So I assume she gonna,
Well, when she finds out you're staying at Shangri-La Mactan area, she's gonna be like, "Well, let's go ahead and try this ride for a couple seconds."
And the good thing, one thing Mike always advised, 200 to 250 a day budget's not bad because I've been down. I save a lot of money. I haven't been spending much money, so Let her bring it on. I got enough money to spend. But hey, man, you guys out there, follow both of them channels. They give a lot of good insight. Be patient with Mike. You know, I mean, Kuya Mike, the guy in the middle. Be patient with him. He might come out as, you know, an asshole in the beginning, but very intelligent, very smart guy. If you're patient, you get so much knowledge from him. You know, at first I was like, who the fuck is this dude, man? He has But then I'm a patient guy because I like to learn. And then I listen. He got facts. He got data, real hardcore experience, you know. I'm not talking about the so-called boots on the ground. I'm talking about data, research, and backing facts up. And respect to that, man. Respect to that. I watch your content a lot. I might not be chatting a lot, but I watch your content.
You shouldn't be watching my content now. You should be enjoying yourself. Like, you know,
yeah.
That's why I would say
no,
once you're
here,
there.
not here.
Yeah, okay.
Not
I'm just saying, you there, man. Take advantage of everything. I'm just saying, man. You and Mactanas, don't even bother to go see Lapu Lapu Shrine. Don't even bother that. That's just a waste of time for you. Like, just enjoy yourself in Cebu downtown, and you'll be all good, man.
Hey, I did the Lapu Lapu Shrine, man. Damn, don't I did it.
Dude, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank
you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Take care, man.
Me too.
Nah, the Lapu Lapu Shrine ain't that bad, but it's I know what you mean, man. It's really a waste of time.
The Cebu Santo Niño Church is better, but the Lapu Lapu is like, I'm like, where the fuck is the water? I was like, what's going on? Like, you know how like when you eat at the food area.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you know, they're like all bothering you. Eat here. I was like, leave me alone. I was like, and I got a ticket there for flying a drone, like about 4 years ago. They ticketed me because I was flying a drone. They're like, ticket. I was like, damn it.
That's fucked up. Yes, man. Mike could be an asshole. I guess that's the moral of the story.
I am.
But you know what? The beautiful thing about it is, what you're learning is, everybody's not going to hit you with the soft hand, man. So what do they call it? Front hand, backhand? Sometimes the front hand is a little bit softer than the backhand and vice versa. Look, man, it's an adjustment period for everybody. But again, if you listen to the content, and Mike, that's one thing I do credit you for, bro. You be doing your fucking research with the data and shit, man. You don't just come on here. Me, I just spit what I know from my experiences and things that I've learned through everybody else. But when you come with the numbers and all that shit, that's something that will be hard for a lot of people to ignore. But yet and still, they just sometimes don't want to listen.
They still do. They still, even if you bring out the facts, like, where'd you find that information? PSA, fake news. I was like, well, okay, whatever. I'm just like,
all the accredited sources in the world, the shit just it's in one ear and out the other. But first timers, man, we do this because we love you.
Yeah,
we do it because it's fun too. Let's not overlook that fact. But at the end of the day, we just hope you take something from it. I mean, I hope that you guys take some. Most of y'all who have been to the Philippines, you guys just come for the entertainment aspect. We appreciate you just listening in and giving your 2 cents where you feel like you can plug it. We appreciate that one. To anybody who's planning an upcoming trip, I hope that something we said tonight or something we've said in any of our channels respectively has helped y'all in one way or another, because outside of this being good, because me and Mike have the best fucking conversations whenever we go live, I want y'all to have fun, and I want y'all to at least learn from the mistakes, man. I mean, even from earlier in the video where we were talking about killing moments and shit that most people, if they're not paying attention, they have no idea what that means. When we talk about it's okay to be corny in the Philippines. Like, what's being corny? Or we say certain things, we're saying it because we've been through it and we've seen it work for other people. It's worked for us, and I'm sure it's probably worked for others. So, I don't know how much more we can say, man. I'm not going to drag this on very long, man. We've done 2 hours and about 15 minutes, man. And I think this has been the best live show we've done in a long time, man.
I think this is a good ass live, man. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Goddamn, it's going to be hard to top this one next week if we try to come
over. We're going to have to figure it out. We have to have some good content, man. We got to figure this out.
All right. Awesome. All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real, but it's time for us to both go and get together. Man, appreciate y'all locking in, man. Take care. God bless. Good Doc and Mike are officially out. At least Nicole, which means we are officially, we are officially going now. All right, man. Y'all take care, man. Peace.